Yay, went live without a refresh.
Sweet. We're up. I see it. I'm sure you guys see me now. I'm wearing my Han Shot First t-shirt.
I see that. That's awesome.
That's cool. I'm wearing my Wookiee Alliance shirt today.
Dude, that's a big freaking bottle you got there.
Oh, yeah. It's a 22 ounce, you know.
It's got to last the whole show.
Yeah, seriously.
I should have a paper bag wrapper.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Ah.
Go ghetto on this one. All right, I think everything else is set. I feel like I'm forgetting something.
Can the chat room hear us?
Oh, yeah. That's a good one. Chat room. Bueller. Can you hear us?
Just Evan.
Yeah, just Evan just said, "What up, guys?"
I see him, but does he hear us? He could just be saying
Testing,
what up because we
testing.
went live, you know?
Hello. Yeah,
Woohoo, he hears
confirm
us.
he can hear us.
Sweet. All right, we're just about noon, which is good. No crazy, knock on wood, tech issues, so that's exciting. I like when that happens.
You had to say it though, right?
I know, of course I
Right,
said
you
it,
know,
but
there's still, like, you know, whatever, 2 hours worth of show to go. You say that at the end.
hopefully we're okay. Hopefully we're okay. My random comma in the show notes was bugging me.
I saw that too, but I fought my OCD.
We'll wait for Mox.
If you see him, you can get rid of him, please.
I know, I always put Z in because of my freaking...
What do you use, Mox?
I use
Z.
Z.
Oh, okay.
I unbind that from the... Because usually that's like weapon swap. Just like show your weapon, not show your weapon.
Right.
So it's like nothing. So that seems to be standard. It's interesting how games standardize things like that.
Nice.
Alright, we just went from 6 people watching to 4, and we haven't even gone on the air. What the frig?
That happens all the time.
Yeah.
And it's weird, like as soon as I go live, like we'll have a bunch of people and they're like, what is this? And then they go away. It's really strange.
That is bizarre.
Yeah.
So I just wonder who's getting the notifications that I'm streaming and they're like surprised at what they see. You know what I mean?
A lot of people check on that live channel. They see something. Oh, they're going live.
Right.
Usual podcast. Oh, check that out. And then it's usually the intro part, and so nothing's going on. So never mind.
Right. How does the stuff look? They look all right?
Yeah, looks good.
All right. I know it's not as beautiful as it could be, but you know.
Got my Twitter on there so I get more hate mail.
Yeah, exactly. Hate mail's good. Then you know you're doing good work.
Exactly.
When people take the time to complain about your stuff, that means you're doing well.
You're making an impact at least.
Exactly. All right, I feel like, should I tweet something or just, what should I do here? Sometimes I do when we start. I feel like I'm spamming everybody in the Twitter groups.
Yeah, you're not doing social media right until you get warned for spamming.
Right. All right, let's see. All right. Any last words, gentlemen?
Mox, do we need to pray to the Boyd and the Muska?
No, I think we're okay.
Pray to all the gods.
Pray to all of them.
All the SWTOR gods.
There you go.
All right. I'm going to start the bumper here in a sec. Yeah, it's an odd time, too. I doubt a lot of people will be able to tune in. So we'll see who shows up. Devin's there, so he'll get a prize at some point if he sticks around. He's going to our cantina, too, which is going to be exciting.
Oh, nice.
Sorry, I'm trying to find where I hid my bumpers. Here we go.
Blame Will.
I know, I always do. All right, I am going to start the bumper here in just a second.
Blast came from the Death Star. That thing's operational.
Dr. Banner, now might be a really good time for you to get angry.
That's my secret, Captain. I'm always angry.
Hello and welcome to episode 102 of The Usual Podcast, a podcast where we discuss Star Wars The Old Republic, the Star Wars franchise, and geek and pop culture. I'm your host, Marshall, and with me, not with me this week, is my co-host, Will. Unfortunately, he is away, but instead, I have two fellow guildies, fellow SWTOR podcasters, and all-around awesome dudes, Mox and JT. Say what's up, fellas.
What's up, fellas?
What's up?
Oh, you guys follow directions well. I love it. And we're just sitting here enjoying our usual frosty beverages. What you drinking, Mox?
Of course, I have a Diet Mountain Dew, which is brewed. What can I really say brewed? Or is it
Oh, please say brewed, please.
concocted in Purchase, New York?
Nice. What about you, JT?
Drinking Folgers coffee, Colombian, black only,
Nice.
and a little HTO.
Nice. I drink all my coffee black as well, but it's noon here, so I don't feel guilty. I'm drinking West Coast IPA from Green Flash Brewing Company, one of my favorites I've had on the show a bunch of times. And Mox made the comment that it is a big bottle, and it is, and I will hold it up to the camera. It's got to last the whole show, so here we are. I appreciate you guys being here, man. I'm pretty excited about this. I've been on your show before, and I'm just stoked to talk geek and pop culture with you, and we got a lot of SWTOR to cover, too, so that's going to be a good show.
So much SWTOR.
So much SWTOR. So before we get started, if you have comments or questions, you can find us at theusualpodcast.com. Email us at theusualpodcast@gmail.com. And we're on Facebook, Google+, Pinterest, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. I am at Darth Pops on Twitter. I almost said Will. JT, it's automatic. JT is at JT_HoloNet, and Mox is at Fort Worth Jim. We're on iTunes, Stitch Radio, and Google Play. Take the time, give us positive ratings and all that kind of stuff. We do like that. And share us when you see us on the social medias. We have the timestamps in the show notes. Again, we have a lot of SWTOR to cover, but it's going to be exciting. But if you want to jump to Star Wars or pop culture, it's in there for you. And thanks to everybody in the chat room this week. We have Devin in there, who is going to be coming to our Pucked Cantina, which I'll talk about here in a couple minutes, and chat with us, and we'll do our best to chat back. So shall we get to Star Wars The Old Republic, gentlemen? Because we're going to talk about you guys in a minute.
Let's
Yeah,
do
actually,
it.
I have a couple questions to ask you. Number one, Will's away. Will he have better internet wherever he is than he has at home?
Look, here's the deal. He assured me he would. So I'm hoping that it's true. But you never know with Will. You know what I mean? For all I know, like when the show just started, we actually recorded episode 100 a couple weeks ago. And when the show first started, he would sometimes be at like a Starbucks, like outside of Starbucks in his RV or at McDonald's. And like,
Nice. It reminds you of that guy from the guild.
yeah, it was exactly that. He's outside of like public Wi-Fi in his RV recording there. It was insane. So we had so many issues in the beginning, but I don't even have I'm not brave enough to go back and listen to those shows, to be honest with you, because who knows? That was before I knew how to level stuff. Who even knows what was happening back then? And his Wi-Fi was terrible. But he was recording on an iTunes headset too, if you can believe that.
Wow.
That's glorious, man.
Well, we've come a long way. But he is away for the summer, so hopefully he has better Wi-Fi, and our mixer will be out of the mix. See what I did there? For a bit. But, it'll be all good. Hopefully we'll get some more guests on and stuff like that. We're going to have you guys and Skeen, and we have a bunch of stuff coming up, so it'll be good.
Nice. And then the other thing was, I don't see Periscope on there. I don't see, like, you guys seem to be missing a couple things, so you need to get on that.
We need more social media,
I think you do, yes.
That's important. Speaking of Periscope, it's funny. Last year at the Puck Cantina, which I keep saying I'll talk about in a minute, somebody was Periscoping. Master Lou was Periscoping. I'm hoping he's going to be there again and also Periscoping again, because I can't handle that and leading a cantina of like 15 people and trying to do a podcast. So I need a volunteer for Periscoping, for sure.
Yeah, you can always get Redna to do it too.
Yeah, we'll see how that
Let's
goes.
volunteer Lou and Redmond do it.
Right.
And then we have 2 different angles, right?
Yeah.
There you go, and you can edit together.
Oh, it'll be great.
You have Jesse to edit. There
Yeah, Jesse can do that.
She can redub the voices.
you go.
Oh, that'll yeah, that'll be good. All right, let me play the SWTOR bumper, and we'll get into the fun.
Excellent.
You want to fight? I'm ready.
You do not have to stand against me. Instead, I will share all of this with you if you will only kneel.
All right, so conveniently, in our community shoutouts this week, I'm going to let Mox and JT talk about the things they do. They are on part of Carillion Run Radio, and they are also parts, I guess is the best way to say it, of Passionately Casual podcast, which are 2 of my favorites. And before you guys get into your stuff, I've said this on your show, but I've been listening to Carillion Run Radio since the DD and days from way back, since the beginning. So it's something that, Carla and Didi. Carla just flew out of my head, but it's one of my favorite SWTOR podcasts. It's been around for a heck of a long time. So why don't you guys talk about your shows and what you do?
Well, like you said, Carillion Radio has been around since before the game went officially live back in the beta days. So it's been going on a long time. Still doing going on. Me and Mox now are on the show. This last episode, we had our Pepe interview, which is really good interview. Glad to get that done. We also had help with Jesse and Sakari while on that interview. But it was also the show where Rav, because her health is getting better, she's actually going back to school. So we actually had to say goodbye to her because she's not going to be able to stay with us at Carillion Run Radio and do all the things required for school and stuff. So that was kind of sad, but wish her the best and everything like that. But we've still got things going on. We've got this Ain't Your Wampas writing contest, which if you're still interested in writing, Marshall,
I will.
You need to get that in there by the 20th. You send any of your submissions in there at CarillionRun@gmail.com.
Yeah, I was sad to hear Rav was leaving. I really liked her being on the show, and like you said, that Pepe interview was something else. There was so much to kind of unpack with geekdom, fandom and stuff like that, and just how we organize our communities and stuff like that. I just thought that was really interesting. So definitely check out that episode if you haven't done so already.
Yeah, Rav added a lot of legitimacy to our podcast, and we're going to miss that for sure.
Well, there's a reason I keep Will around. He remembers obscure facts that I can't remember. So,
oh my gosh, yeah, like who
right?
directed a movie that was made like 75 years
Will.
ago, and
Well, it's funny because when we started the show, that's the stuff we always talk about, and he's like, "Oh, and this director did this and this." And I was like, "How do you even remember all this crap, dude?" So I thought it'd be nice to do a podcast with a guy that remembers the crap that I couldn't even possibly remember. So it helps.
He's like the Rain Man of movie.
Exactly. Well, it's funny. His family, they're really big into movies. They do like Oscar parties and stuff like that. They're just really big into stuff, and he just remembers all of it. I don't even know how he does it. So,
Gotcha.
but yeah, I love Carillion Run Radio. But Passionate Casual is good as well, right? Talk about
In a
that.
different way. It's a great podcast. Has great hosts and some superb editing, if I do say so.
Gee, do you edit the show, Mox? I wonder.
Just a little bit. So anyway, it's it's been going on almost 2 years now. We're crawling up on our 2-year anniversary, and you mentioned not wanting to listen to early episodes. I feel the same way about Passion Casual. Like, I feel bad for Zernablog, who was our first guest.
Oh, that's right.
I
Oh
remember
my
that.
god, the editing on that was like, just the sound quality was atrocious. It sounded like he was
Tin
recording
cans.
in a tin can. Yeah. And like, I tried to level it and I manipulated it, and then it just got worse and worse. I'm just like, oh my god, what am I doing? So I have learned a ton of stuff having to do edits, and now that I'm actually on mic 2, it makes me appreciate and understand like all the stuff I bitched about to everybody. I do it 10 times worse. So
No, I like hearing you on that show too. I'm glad you're on there. I really enjoy Passionate Casual. I love Jesse. Jesse and I go way back. Unlike you two gentlemen, I've met Jessie in real life a couple times, and she's just an awesome person. So I'm glad that you guys are doing that show, and the interviews you guys do are great, and you guys have a good chemistry. It's fun.
Yeah. Now we added the element of going live this last time.
Yeah, how'd that go?
It went well, believe it or not.
No, it was
Sakari had some sound issues. He apparently somehow turned on like some gain or something, so it sounded there was like a paper blowing on his desk from his ceiling fan, and it sounded like the drums of the Indians were coming together. No, and so it had those challenges, but all in all, it was a good episode. We talked about toxic chat.
Nice. Are you guys going to be doing it live every week, or is that just an experiment, or what?
We'll see what happens. The future is
always in motion.
For
The
us,
future
let's
is
say yes, exactly. Always in motion. So we'll see. Definitely, at least some of them will be, if not all.
Nice.
So also involving the guilds and whatnot, we have Extra Life coming up, and your fans, I'm sure, know from previous years. Extra Life is a charity event to help children's hospitals and the patients there. Across North America, and we have over the last 3 years raised a little over $9,000, and this year we're shooting for another $2,000.
I love Extra Life, man, and I'm so glad that I'm part of a guild that that really does a lot of things to try to make it more than it could be. Like in the beginning, I know before I was part of the guild, which is Wookiee Mistake and Unholy Alliance, right? Before that, it was just kind of an excuse to tell my wife, like, hey, I'm gonna game for 24 hours. You know what I mean? But now it's more like, I'm trying to pick my color on the T-shirt I want to buy for the Wookiee Alliance T-shirts. So I haven't pulled the trigger yet. But I'm very particular with my T-shirts. But I plan to stream this year. I loved last year's events. We have the kickoff coming up. June 24th? Is that it?
Yeah, just a week and a day.
Nice. Yep. So I'm excited about that. I love Extra Life. And the fact that our guild has raised, or our team or whatever has raised almost $10,000 is nothing. It's really awesome. So I'm excited about it.
Great.
Hey, Marshall.
Right, and they do have kid sizes in these shirts too, Marshall.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're trying to make me spend $60 instead of $20? That's good.
Right, well, and your wife.
Oh God. Yeah, let me see if I can sell that. How about that? Buying one is one thing.
Yeah, being a help for the color, I think he should go with like maybe one of each. Ema?
Right.
I mean, why limit yourself?
Well, see, here's the deal. Right now, I'm thinking about Asphalt. I have it in my cart. I'm looking at it.
I actually went with that one, and I'm wearing it right now.
Nice.
I think you just wanted it because it has the word ass in it.
Well, of course. I mean, there's a lot of bonuses to Asphalt, okay? All right, guys. So let's. I have one more thing to talk about unless you guys have anything else you want to mention about your shows or anything.
I just want to mention real quick. The event on next Saturday
it
starts at 1:00 Eastern time, and it will last about 5 hours or so, maybe a little longer. Starting off with the CZ-198 Pet on the Imp side, which you will need at least a level 52 tune on the Imperial side. We'll be doing a fleet datacron. God willing, we can get that set up. Then we have our signature Musco event. This year it's going to be a leveling / scavenger hunt across the across the Republic starting planets and the fleet. So
I love the Musco events.
Yeah. And then we'll have a social event, and then we're going to have a real brief Corellian Run episode where we're saying goodbye to Rav and picking our Wampa contest winner. And then Kid Lee is going to have a bonus segment where he's playing some Quiplash. So definitely come out, support us, pick somebody on the team. If you're not on a team, donate to them, and help out some kids.
No, that's awesome. I plan to be there. I'm going to be streaming. I've got to work later that night, but it should be over right before that. So I'm excited.
Excellent.
All right, let's get to our weeks in game. Nope. We're not doing weeks a game. I have something. I forgot. So our Puck Cantina, which I talked about, which stands for Passionately Usual Corellian Trap Cantina. It's a mashup of, current shows, old shows, podcasts, World Tour, Star Wars podcasts, a bunch of friends who get together every year during San Diego Comic-Con. And confirmed this year, Redna and Heather, myself and Will. Last year we had Darren DePaul there. Devin, who's in the chat, is also going to be there. Swotor Steve, a bunch of people. And it's just going to be... Oh, and Jesse, of course, coming all the way from Australia. Elise is going to be there from our guild as well. So it's really exciting. It's a lot of fun. Last year we just set up the mics. I'm going to buy another mic this year, and we're just going to pass the mic around and talk about SWTOR and fandom and everything we love. It's at Mission Brewing Company again this year. Starting about 5 o'clock, we'll meet up, and that is Saturday, July 22nd. And it's last year. You can still find it on our feed, of course, and the Periscope is out there somewhere. It was just a lot of fun. A lot of beers, a lot of good friends. It's just something that I hope to continue to do. We got our press passes this year, so at least this year and next year it will be happening because I will be down in San Diego one way or another. So it's exciting. So one day I got to get you boys out there, right?
Nah, I'd love that, man.
Oh, you'll do it.
So, what special guests are you having this year? I know Darren.
Yeah, I've already put I've already invited Darren DePaul. I know he'll be down there. I'm just not 100% sure if he's got a lot going on this year as he becomes more famous.
Super busy. Yeah, with
So
Geek
busy.
Sundry and all the voice acting.
Yeah, he's got his voice in a lot of different properties. So I'm hoping that he will make the time to come out for a little bit. Last year he stuck around for most of the show. We actually went to a few panels with him. We spent most of that. What was it, Friday or Saturday last year with him? Just a really cool guy to just hang out with. He'll do voices on the mic and stuff and just talk about his life. And he says his wife will be with him this year, I hope, too. She's an actress as well. So I'm hoping they both show up, and it'll be really cool. We also have a couple other ideas for some other guests, but, nothing I can talk about quite yet. But it's going to be fun one way or another. And we're going to have prizes this year. I've got...
Tell us if Will's sister's gonna be
yeah, she's a special guest that may or may not be there, but she doesn't do voice acting or anything. But we have prizes this year, and stuff like that. I'm gonna get some more stuff from Musco, hopefully, and that kind of thing. So hopefully we'll have some T-shirts and stuff.
T-shirt contest, right?
Yeah, supposedly, and we'll get back to him on that one because this T-shirt contest is his baby. I'm not a graphic designer and or wanting to do it, so no, I'm just kidding. He's gonna do it, and I'm gonna put him to it. And so keep sending your graphics in for that.
Hear us, Marshall.
What? Seriously? Can't hear us?
Kid Lee says we can't hear JT and Mox.
Oh, that's weird. Why is that?
Huh. Test.
No, Kid Lee. That would suck if we have to restart the whole show.
Oh, man.
Well, they just can't hear us on Twitch.
Right.
Oh, Jess Devin says he hears
Yeah,
us.
he is.
Okay, so
Oh,
can't hear
okay.
you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Devin, confirmed that he could hear us.
Oh,
It's
it's
super soft. Okay. What do I do about that, you think?
Your
Check-
desktop capture
Yep,
needs
desktop
to slide
audio.
up a little bit. If you're using OBS, I don't know. If you're using something else, I don't know what to do then.
How's that?
I don't know. Kid Lee, how's that? Hello?
Test. Hello.
It's really loud in my ears now, but that should be good. Is that good?
I don't know. I guess Kid Lee will have to let us know.
Yeah. That's the downside of being the guy that's using the OBS. Your ears will bleed.
Oh, no, it's fine. I'm just waiting to see what he has to say. Kid Lee, is that better?
Test.
Hello, Kid Lee.
Either way, we're good on the recording end. Devin says he can hear us, but I turned my desktop audio up, so hopefully that helps.
Cool.
If not, Kid Lee, let us know, and I will make more adjustments if I need to. All right, now we're officially getting into our weekend game. Yeah, what did you guys do this week?
Well, personally, I got in on the nightlife event, and I did that, of course, during some of my streaming there, which that's prime quality streaming game.
Watching you click buttons?
Watch me click a slot machine.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, run between slot machines because people keep stealing them and stuff like that.
Question: how many slot machines do you play at one time?
2 if you can find them. The first day it was hard to even find one at times. So.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, no, I it's hard to find it right now. Even a few days into it, I was playing it yesterday a little bit.
Yeah, I was even.
Are you guys in the main casino, or are you down on the barge by the promenade?
Yeah, I went to both actually, and they were still both were busy. I I even switched instances and still was showing up as pretty busy. So
Yeah. The only problem with I found with Unbarred is that the machines are too far apart to stand and get to.
yeah, that's
So-
the one thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I usually stay on the edge of the whole bank and play those last two if I can. That's usually how I do it. And I just kind of look at the top down and watch the lights go. But I'm usually doing something else on my other screen. I did it while I was editing my last show and stuff. But yeah, the nightlife event, I'm kind of glad it's back. But what about you guys?
Oh, so that's what that beeping was in the editing that I heard.
Exactly. There's a slot machine just running in the
Slot
background.
machine, right.
Yeah.
I thought you were like at the bicycle, like, and they're.
Oh no, I go to the gym in the morning. Now I do the slot machines on my, sitting down.
Casino.
Just kidding.
No, actually, I should have stopped when I won the first speeder, the new grand prize speeder. I won that. I probably should have stopped. I've spent probably $5 million.
Already?
Yeah.
Oh, that's it?
Well, I spent $1 million, and I actually haven't gone through the whole mill yet. But I got the speeder as well, so I'm pretty stoked about that.
Nice.
I spent 30 million.
Yeah.
Already?
Yeah.
And
Well, I guess I'm talking to the guy who's been at Legacy, CXP rank 300 for how many months now?
I guess it's 5 months now. But that's beside the point. Yeah.
Exactly.
So I got both the pig and the speeder.
By pig, he means the Gamorrean guard. That's
Right.
Yeah, the companion. And see, I think what Ring was doing it. I think he was trying to work on dropping like 100 mil.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Even I think that's
That's too much. I don't have that much money. I mean, I've got quite a bit of money, so I'm gonna put as much in as I can till I got the Rancor and the other events, and I'm gonna get that Gamorrean guard because that's gonna be my new friend. But eventually I'll get there.
Pretty cool. Ring got him too. It looked pretty cool.
Is he? I haven't looked even online. Is he small or is he like regular companion size?
Regular size, companion size. It actually looks pretty good.
Huh. That's cool. Hey, so real
on
quick.
display at the casino if you want to see it.
Oh yeah, I'll go check it out. So real quick aside there, boys. Kid Lee's still having issues. I don't know any suggestions on how to deal with it. Devin says it's fine, and Kid Lee says you guys are lower than me by quite a bit.
Yeah, 15%. Probably just gonna have to bump us up a little bit more.
Where at? I mean,
Desktop audio.
all right.
And then if you need to, you could maybe lower your headset so we're not deafening you.
Yeah.
All right.
And then he says that you're lower than I am, Mox.
No, we're not using Discord, Kid Lee. We are using TeamSpeak.
TeamSpeak.
Yeah, TeamSpeak. Oh, does Marshall? You don't have the thing when he doesn't. Well, it's our settings, our server, right? He doesn't have the
Yeah.
settings that lowers it when somebody else is talking.
No, it should be fine.
Yeah, I just bumped it up quite a bit, so hopefully that's better. I don't know. That's the best I could do right now. All right, so besides nightlife, what are people doing? Anything else?
Well, of course, like I said, I was doing that while I was streaming, doing the nightlife. I'm going to try to get the Gamorrean. Then I've been leveling my assassin off.
I see what you did. Okay, I get it.
Leveling your asphalt up?
Yeah, my asphalt.
Your asphalt, yeah.
No, I'm working on an assassin. I only have done like starter planet stuff with stealth, and so this one I've actually got to German cost. I'm level 27, I think. I'm really liking it. Stealth is the way to go. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
I mean, just do a little mind mez, go walk right through them, keep moving.
Oh, you can get through stuff pretty quick. My main is an assassin tank, as you guys know, and yeah, stealth is the way to go.
Nerf assassins, stealth's overpowered.
Nope.
Oh wait, I'm sorry.
Don't do it. We're gonna talk about nerfing later.
I was channeling my anti-merc speech.
Oh, I can't wait. That's gonna be exciting. So besides that stuff, we did WoG. Hey, we got through.
You had written here originally WoG Night Smooth Pipe.
Can I tell
I
you?
want to know how the hell can you define that as a smooth run?
Actually,
Oh, let me
that
tell
was
you.
pretty smooth for 15 people on a 16-man raid up until we got to Titan.
I agree. I put smooth-ish because I listened to your guys' last show, and JT I think was saying like, "Oh, we wiped a couple times stuff," and I was like, "Oh yeah, we did." So I put smooth-ish, but we got through it, and it only took a little over an hour or so, and it was fine.
Yeah, I think it would have been better if we had that, that other DPS person. That would.
I almost got into my car and drove to Pennsylvania to throttle your nephew, JT.
Yeah, that kid. Oh my God, the amount of times he's pulled and we weren't ready. Man, that's probably as many WoG runs as we've ever done.
If he
So
wasn't ready, why did he click ready?
Yeah, but you gotta realize how many people do that. They just click.
yeah, they just click
Then
stuff.
Don't complain when we pull.
Oh, that's awesome. So one of the things I did was I was trying to check out the speeder upgrades, and I got it on my main, and it wasn't too much. It was 2 million or something, and I was kind of bummed it wasn't legacy wide. And I'm hoping that's something they fix. But it looked pretty cool when I was on one of my creature mounts, and one of the things we're going to talk about later is it's not actually working with anything but creature mounts. So that's kind of a bummer. Did you guys do it?
Yeah, but people don't know how to read. Like, just
True.
because it's called a legacy perk doesn't mean it's legacy wide. It just means that it's in the legacy system.
Right, but usually you can
When you go to purchase it, you're on the character perk screen. So don't post on the forums, "I want a refund of my cartel coins because I purchased this and I thought it was going to be legacy wide."
No, I see what you're saying. Usually, though, there's a cartel coin option to where it unlocks on all your characters, right?
No, it's no different than like the mailbox or the.
Oh, you know what? You're right.
There are certain.
There's some that you can, though.
Yeah, like if you're in the costume designer, just for instance, and you say you want to add another slot, you can choose whether just a single or account wide.
But it's a distinct option.
It's a distinct
left side of the
option,
screen, right side of the screen.
Right.
And that's not there. It just says,
Right.
You're on the character screen and you purchase it for that character.
Yeah, so I mean, that's pretty much all I've done in game this week. Some nightlife, and a smoothish Tithe run, and some speederness. Anything else, boys?
I think that's about it.
All right, I'll stop putting commas in the thing now. Let's get to some news, man, because we got quite a bit. So the way I usually do this is I'll just kind of say the thing, and then we'll just talk about the thing. We'll just kind of go top to bottom. We're gonna gloss a little bit over patch notes because a lot of shows already talked about. By the time this comes out, they'll be almost 2 weeks old anyway. Yeah, so we'll just kind of talk about what we liked as far as that stuff goes. But first, we had maintenance on the 13th, which was for a game update 5.2.2. Is that right?
Yep.
And then we had some issues with East Coast servers again. Did this affect you guys? That's why I wanted to ask you.
No, because I play on West Coast server.
Yeah, I play on the West Coast server too.
Okay, yeah. Oh wait, are we West Coast? Oh, we are West Coast. Yeah, that's right. Okay, I used to be on East Coast. That's why.
Still cracks me up the amount of people that are just like, "This is unacceptable. Oh my god, I can't play my game." Blah blah. It was less than 2 hours.
Well, that's the internet, though, right? I mean, what kills me though, and you're right. It's a little absurd. It's like, now I can't do the thing I want to do, and it's like, but dude, like, it's not like it was the whole day. You know what I mean? Just go make a sandwich and then come back. It'll be fine.
Right. Go. I mean, if you watch a movie, you can watch Batman versus Superman and rage at that. It's more understandable.
Right.
Oh, I see what you did.
I see. That's gonna come up again later, I'm sure.
Just pop a frosty beverage.
Yeah.
Just relax.
Have a drink and sit back, play a different game, or just and then come back. It'll be fine.
Now, if you want to rage about something, rage about the fact that the new casino decorations can't be donated. That's legitimate.
Yeah, let's get into that. So, in-game events, I didn't even know that page existed. Where'd that page come from?
It's like they hide it. I mean, seriously,
it's really nice looking.
It's a nice. I wish they would have it on, because you have all the different things like My SWTOR, and you got your account, patch notes, and all that stuff. I have yet to find it on that first page, where you can get to it. So, I like it.
Yeah, it's really cool, and it lists all the in-game events. So we've got nightlife all through the summer, basically, with new rewards, which we've talked about. And so, Mox, tell us how you feel about this casino deal.
Well, the casino's great. I love the events, love the new decorations, but they've got this really wicked, cool new dance floor. Have you seen it yet?
I've seen pictures of it. I haven't done it.
All right. Well, in the casino, there's one there that you can use.
Yeah.
You go up to it and you click on it, and it makes you dance. Like even if you don't have the dances, it makes you
Oh!
dance.
Yeah.
I did that by accident the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't even have
There
to
you
do
go.
it. It's awesome.
Yeah, it was really
So,
cool.
It's fantastic. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to be great. We have to have this for our Musco dance party after our Musco event on the 24th. But lo and behold, you can't donate it directly because it's bound to Legacy, and you can't donate it through like the normal, like, you know, pay 50,000 credits or whatever and donate it. So apparently it is a bug, and it'll probably be fixed in the next patch, which I was hoping, since there was speeder issues, they might rush a fix for that, and it might get squeezed in there. But it looks like we're looking at July.
And I think that's the same with the EV bug. It's not going to come till 5.3, which looks like next month, which is very sad.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue is they're so worried about on the decos people making a credit or two on the GTN selling them that they went ahead and included those into the Bound to Legacy, and that is the issue with Bound to Legacy, that you can't directly donate those to the guild.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
I don't like, hey, people make a buck off or credit on the GTN. Hey, let them make a credit or two. It's a deco.
Right.
And people make so much money off that stuff already, so what does it matter? And we also have the Rackle event. That's going to be what? That's this week. It's happening now.
Yeah. So by the
Right.
time this is out, it'll be over.
Yep, it'll be over. So good. And so I like this post. I thought it was funny. Do EA/Bioware employees play SWTOR? And Eric went on this long rant of like the types of play, which I thought was kind of cool because they kind of highlighted like everybody plays the game differently, kind of like we do, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that post was kind of cool. So we have the link in the show notes to that. And then I don't understand this one that much, so maybe you guys have some insight. I read through it. There's some Master Mode gear drop changes coming. And I think this has to do with there's some discrepancy between when you get to Master Mode, what drops there are. Do you guys know anything about this?
It's talking about the tier 4, how to get the tier 4 stuff. And currently, other than if you do veteran mode Tithe, that and if you are above command rank 300, those are the only two ways of getting any tier 4 stuff. So what their idea was doing is other ways of getting some more of that tier of gear and options for doing that. Whether some of them had posed, they thought about the ideas of components, so people could level up their gear that way, or just having drop a random 248 piece. I like the fact, whichever way they choose, or if they just keep it like it is, I like the fact that they actually pose this question to the community. I think that's a good choice to do that.
And currently, the only way to get the components is by PvP, right?
Correct, right.
Yeah, I thought it was nice, like you
Well,
said,
I take
JT.
it back.
Oh,
Actually, now in Conquest, you can actually get unassembled components if you do your weekly Conquest.
Oh.
Yeah, that was a new thing they added. I noticed that on Conquest.
Oh, really?
20 unassembled components each week just by doing your personal Conquest.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I didn't know that. And I guess in the new deal, you can craft some tier 4 gear too, right?
Correct.
Right, non-moddable tier 4.
Non-mod, right. But I did like what you said, though, about opening up. At the bottom of the post, it basically says, here's a couple options. What do you guys think? And, you know, when they do that, they'll get a bunch of feedback, and then they'll kind of go from there, which I dig.
I totally agree. I think it's great.
Yep.
All right, so... Oh, here we go.
Comma.
Comma. So we're at I wonder what the name of the show is going to be. Okay, so we have 5.2.2 patch notes. We're not going to run through all of them, but what was? Is there anything in there, guys, that you're just super stoked about? As far as this, yeah, the Java vendors is good.
Grade 10 stuff going Java vendors. I like the fact for weeklies, just as somebody that likes to complete those weeklies. I like story mode uprisings coming down from 10 to 5 to get a weekly. I think that's a good choice.
Yeah, I want to do more of those, but having the weekly shorter, I think is much better for sure.
Right. Weapons tunings and collections. I was never I was a fan of the weapon tunings, but was never excited about them because you had to get them if you want them on 3 different two characters, you have to get 3 different. And now that they're openable there, that's a positive change.
No,
Mods.
Go ahead.
You're still not going to be happy with the weapons until the weapon tuning designer comes out.
Right. Absolutely, I agree with that. But
And none of us will be.
Is a step in that direction.
Right.
No, my favorite part, I think, is the change to companion influence. I've spent so many credits getting the amount of companions I have to 20 or 50 or whatever it is. On my main, I have 5 that are to 50, but that's just because I have a lot of credits. But I like the fact that on my other tunes, I can just send them out on crew skill missions and have that. I mean, it's a slower process, obviously, but it'll get me back into crafting, I think, and selling some components and stuff like that. So that'll be good.
Yeah, I liked it. I kind of forgot about it until I was on my Lobby Sith Assassin. I sent out HK and Kinval, and they came back and leveled up. I was like, why'd they level up influence? I was like, oh
yeah.
Yeah, it's like nice.
No, yeah, I think that's a really cool change.
I do have something to add in, just because even though he's not here, #blame Will.
Yeah, please blame Will for everything.
Right.
So let's see. We have new mount speeds not working. We kind of alluded to it earlier. The creature mounts, I think, are really cool. I'm glad at least it's working with something. So a workaround of this would be to go to your favorites, I guess, on mounts and change them all to creature mounts so that you can move super fast.
So
Right.
you're using it. Both you guys have unlocked it, right?
Yep.
What do you like it moving that faster? Is it really noticeable?
I think it's noticeable. I only did it for a couple minutes. It's noticeable. My only beef is I think at that top tier, it should be all but impossible to knock you off your mount. You know what I mean?
This is like a pet peeve of yours, isn't it?
It's such a pet peeve of mine. I hate being knocked off my mount. If I'm just trying to run through a place, especially a Lobby planet or something, and I have I paid millions of credits to unlock this super fast speeder, how are they going to knock me off? Come on. Some little level 15 mob. I'm level 70. Come on, bro. That's not happening.
Oh, but level sync.
I know. Screw level sync on that. That's the only thing I want to do about that. Screw level sync on that. That's it right there. Anyway, so any other thoughts on the movement speed, Mox, since you have it open?
No, it's good. I actually have not tried it on an animal mount. I bought it and drove around. I was like, this doesn't seem much, but I wasn't near anybody at the time, so I was like, well, maybe it's a just a perspective thing. But now that I know that it wasn't working, and I just found out today about the animal mount thing, I'm glad there is something, and they're not just letting everybody spend their money for a month and not give them have some way of accessing this thing they paid for. So that's good. I'm glad that there's some workaround.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. So if you want to take full advantage, like I said, just unclick all your non-animal mounts. I have a ton of animal mounts, so and you can keep them on your randomizer and just roll with that for a month until they fix it in 5.3.
Did not need to know about your proclivities and.
I have a lot of animal mounts. Okay, you guys are just gonna have to deal with it. It's gonna be fine. It's something you just know about me now. All right, guys. So we already talked about weapon tunings. Do you have anything else to say about that?
Yeah, I'm good. They're there. That's good stuff.
They're there.
Yep.
And Season 8 rewards. I am not a PvPer, but I know Mox certainly is. You do rank too, right?
I've done rank. I did rank to level. That's how I got to 300.
Right.
Because it was at the time, it was the most expeditious way to get CXP. I'm by no means a PvPer. I have not stepped into PvP since they upped everything else.
Gotcha.
So I have some. I'm sure I don't have nearly enough. I'm not anywhere near the top in Merc, so I'm not in any danger of winning any of the big titles or anything.
Oh, yeah, I was just going to ask you, where are you going to rake in your ranked PvP rewards?
Yeah, whatever the bottom rank is, I'm sure. I honestly think that they need to get these things out before the season starts, though. Going forward, we should have known this before. It's kind of like being starting the football year, not knowing if there's actually going to be a Super Bowl.
Sure.
No, I'm with you, man. I've never understood why they do this backwards. I know they don't have it dialed in yet, but just when you get it dialed in, then start the next season so that there's going to be a Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, I'm not a huge PvPer, but didn't they have the rewards first.
No, partway through the season they were doing it. Like it would be like halfway through they would post it, but now it seems to be like well after the fact. I don't know. I don't quite get it.
Because what happens if like they post these rewards and you're just like, oh my god, that is such a load of crap, and like you're fighting for crap in essence.
Right. I like your Super Bowl analogy.
About is if they come out with rewards of like nobody will PvP because that's a stupid reward. I'm not going to play this season.
But it's I guess that we'd be worried about the PvP people complaining about the rewards before the season and then unsubbing or something. I mean, that's probably it. But still, at least give them something. Say, hey, here's one of the top tier deals that you can shoot for. Make sure that's really cool. If the other stuff sucks, at least they have something to shoot for. You know?
Yeah, at least show the top reward exactly like you said. You don't have to show every little thing you're going to get, but maybe a couple things or something like that. Yeah,
maybe you don't have the title nailed down yet or whatever, but there's always a mount at the top. Show the damn mount and give somebody something to shoot for, you know?
And I think the rewards need to be as cool as that first weapon set where the flames weapons that just had... I still consider
that was cool.
With those. Those are epic weapons, and I think they need to have stuff cool like that because that's what PvPers like to do is kind of show off this stuff like that.
Exactly, and not just reskins and stuff, you know?
Right.
All right, so there's some roadmap stuff that came out, and since they posted that roadmap post, I feel like that's redundant, but whatever. People have been. It's an ongoing thread, and they've started responding to some of them. Of course, the old PvE Starfighter thing popped up again. I remember. Oh man, this is how long I've been in this community. I actually went to that Starfighter event in San Francisco. We got to play it first, and it was really cool. But Starfighter's kind of gone by the wayside. They made some changes in the latest patch. But what do you guys think? Are they ever going to do this PvE Starfighter thing?
PvE?
Yeah.
No, I don't think they'll do that. I think you're going to have the one on the rails. I doubt that they would ever have the free flying PvE event.
Yeah, and I think
so cool.
It would be, and I think the main thing would be like they're just like missions, and we'll talk about Battlefront 2 later, but free flying missions or something you can do in Starfighter, because not everybody who is into wants to actually do the PvP part of it. You know what I mean? I like Galactic Starfighter, but I don't always want a PvP. So this would be a nice, cool, happy medium. Give a couple missions here and there with different patches would be kind of neat. But
how cool would it be if they had like a 4-man ship, and like you have the tank has to drive, the DPS get in gun slots, and the healer has to run around repairing the ship.
Oh, I love that idea, and that's something we tossed around long ago too with this before Starfighter came out, and that would be some way to bridge the gap between that and like ops or flashpoints. Like it could be a flashpoint, a PV, a Galactic Starfighter flashpoint where you get a group of 4 and you go in, and then at the end you gotta jump out of the ship and do something. I mean, I just think that'd be badass.
See, I think you guys are. I don't want to rain on the parade.
Oh, are you gonna
creating a new game?
Are you gonna put us down?
I'm not doing that, but I'm just thinking of. Do you guys know what it's like to have a flashpoint pug?
Yeah, but if they're just on a gunner.
Yeah. Oh, they're just a gunner. They're just a DPS.
It'll be fine, right?
Fine here.
I don't know.
And Kidley's right in chat. Star Wars Galaxies had that, from what I understand, but I didn't play Galaxies long enough to get to that point. But I don't know. It's kind of pie in the sky, but I think we're onto something. And since BioWare is not listening, I think we should make it happen.
Yeah, I think the only thing is then EA's like, well, we have that. It's called Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Right.
Come over here and play this.
Come play this other game, right?
Oh, speaking of Battlefront 2, we're going to talk about that later.
Right, we'll talk about it later.
All right,
yeah, that's fine.
We talk about her later.
What are we talking about?
Little hint.
That actress. Oh my god.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, we'll talk about that later for sure. All right, so male dancer outfit. I just thought this was hilarious. So let me open this up. What was funny about this is somebody was asking about a male version of the dancer outfit, which isn't the first time this has come up. But what do you guys think? Or removing the restriction of the female-only restriction. I think it'd be hilarious, but what do you guys think?
I'm okay having a male dancer outfit as long as it's not like a metal bikini.
Right. Yeah, I think there should be like a
You want
male
to have some
dancer.
tight John
Yeah.
Travolta like pants or something?
Yeah, that'd be
Okay,
cool.
I'm down with that. Whatever.
With like a really low
I do
V.
not want to see Theron Shan in a metal.
Yeah.
Period.
Oh, I don't know. I think it'd be funny. Or I like the tight pants, maybe with a deep V, with a big collar. I think it'd be sick, dude. That'd be awesome.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I definitely can see maybe there's some room for improvement in the male dancer outfit area, I guess. Huh. We're
I
like
think in
making this
general
legit
that
topic.
the outfits have gone away from clothing type outfits and are strictly like armor type outfits, and that's fine. But it would be nice to see things that are more like Zhou armor, which are more clothing like, for both males and females in the game that aren't so bulky.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I don't like the restrictions on the outfits personally because if people want to do a thing, I don't mind them doing the thing. But there is a lot of armor out there, and having the RPers and that kind of thing being able to have, more clothing options, I think is a good idea.
If that's for me, I'm not here.
Sounds good. All right,
Look
so
for you.
I thought this was pretty funny too. Keith realized he gets PMs on the forums. Did you guys see this?
Hysterical.
He's like, oh, I'm the producer of the game. He's like, wait, I have another inbox? I just thought that was freaking
Yeah, that one
hilarious.
on the forums, right?
The one where everybody PMs, Eric all the time, So he says he'll catch up, but if he hasn't realized it by now, he's probably got hundreds of them he's got to deal with.
Oh,
So,
you think hundreds? I don't think
Yeah,
like that.
there was a click delete on a lot of those. I'm just saying.
right? All right, and we're getting to the end here of SWTOR, but Master Mode Operation Gear Drops, did we talk about that already?
Yeah, we talked
Yeah.
about it.
We did. Okay, cool. And this was the big one. I'm going to kind of throw it over at you guys and let Mox rant a little bit probably. But there's a big, long post that I just, be honest with you, I read the TLDR on that, how class balance happens. We don't cover too much class balance or class changes on this show, but I love when people are on that can talk about this stuff. And we don't have to rant for too long, but I thought this post was cool. And then we had round 2 of class changes coming up, which is Arsenal Merc and Gunnery Commando. So any thoughts on those two posts, guys?
Well, first of all,
no.
oh, go ahead, JT.
The first one about where they kind of opened the door to like how class balance happens. I thought that post was awesome, kind of showing the percentage of what classes in spec are above the DPS target area or below the DPS target area. I thought that was a really good article, and I like that they're being a little more transparent with a lot of that stuff and how those things work in the game. So kudos to Keith and everybody over there right now that is doing more of that stuff.
Yeah, the transparency is way, way better than it's ever been. And I'm hoping that people who've been asking for transparency for this long are finally like, oh, so this is what it looks like, and not like we need more, because this is a lot. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, this is nice.
All right, rant away, Mox.
Well, okay, so Mercs came out today. Like, the changes they're making to Mercs. I actually have no issues with what they did. JT's actually the one that has issues with what they do. I have
Ooh.
issues with the reactions to it.
Right.
So, JT, go ahead. You say what you want to about the Merc changes.
Well, a lot of the Merc changes, and there are a couple that I completely agree. Like, they're lowering decoy, which is part of the thing for a defensive thing for Mercs. They're lowering it down from 5 charges to 2 charges. That's a good thing. They're raising some of the heat element, and so Arsenal Mercs and Gunnery Commandos now have to balance their heat issues a little bit better, so they just can't go all ham out and blazing DPS without having any consequences for that.
Yeah, I think somebody posted on the forums that said that they hit their heat vent less than they opened packs with platinum items on the cartel market.
That was me, not me. No.
That's awesome.
Actually, the only thing I have an issue with is the overall, most of the changes were just lowering the DPS. Going through a lot of the DPS posts and forum, like there's one that shows like what would be the best in slot gear, and actually this is a whole big post. It's done a bunch of people that know a lot more math than me that have figured out all this stuff and what people are actually getting on some of the different advanced specs and stuff. And actually Arsenal and Gunnery Commandos were not like the top and everything. I think they were actually DPS wise in a good place. I think a lot of it's the survivability that where a lot of people, especially in PvP, is they see a merc standing there and 3 people are having trouble DPSing them down because they have so much survivability and they've got those 3 extra kind of like, I need help and stuff, and basically heal to full again.
Yeah, I have a merc, and I've never played in PvE and stuff, or PvP. But yeah, from what I hear, it's the defensive cooldowns and how they're able to stand against a lot, you know?
And see, I worry that the fact is they're starting off by lowering mostly the DPS and taking it down. I think it was 400 to 500 DPS points, which is fine, but I'm worried that they're going to do that first and then come back. The defensive cooldowns later are still going to need to be addressed because everybody's going to say, well, the merc is still standing there on the point. I can't kill him yet, blah, blah, blah. And so it's like, well, now we're going to take away DPS, and they're going to take away survivability later. And so then it's going to be like, well, time to stop playing merc again like I had to do early on. So I don't know. I hope that it doesn't come back and nerf a lot later. But
I feel like the merc hate, like you put this hashtag in there, which I love. I think that the merc hate is stuck around longer than any of the other hatred towards, I mean, bubble sorks and heal to full and all the stuff that's been around. Oh, that's good. Yep, I forgot about Smash Monkeys. You're right. Yeah, that one was probably one of the longest running ones for sure.
Yeah, that was definitely longer.
But that was probably a longer time between class balancing than we've had since the last class balancing.
A good point. Yeah.
And now, so that's probably why. But here's my issue. Okay, and having been in ranked at the initial at 5.0 and kind of seeing the evolution over the first couple months of it, it didn't take people that long to figure out how to kill mercs. You pay attention. If you're a good player and are paying attention to what you're DPSing, you're going to see that their shield is up, so you stop DPSing. So if you don't damage them, they're not going to heal. And granted, I understand that the one heal, what's the Kolto override, is that AKT? That one's instant, but it only heals you to 75%. Doesn't heal you to full. And that's only really one that you can't prevent. All the others, if you stop DPSing a merc or if you AoE them, you kill them. So all this hate about, oh my god, mercs are so hard to kill, oh my god, mercs have 3 lives, that lasted about 2 weeks. After that 2 weeks, everybody figured out the workaround for it, and the good PvPers and the ones that have their eyes open when they're playing and aren't watching a movie are fine. And they deal with it. So all this complaining and bitching and moaning about how bad, and how overpowered mercs are, if you lower their defensive cooldowns any more than they are, they're going to be back to how they were before 5.0. They're going to be nothing but glass cannons, and nobody's going to want to play them.
Yeah, and with the changes that they're doing with just DPS, because everybody's like, well, because what Mock said and alluded to, if you have just one merc, that's how you take care of them. But when you have like 2 or 3, even with 2 or 3 and you lower their DPS, their survivability is still going to be like it is now. And there's still, everybody's going, see, look, in this war zone, we had 3 mercs, we couldn't do anything with them. So that's why I'm worried that it's going to be I don't know. I'd have to see it. I mean...
Well, are they taking feedback on this stuff right now, or are they just saying that this is going to happen? I know they've said...
Everything always is taken with it. But here's the thing. This round of changes, from what I've seen, is focused around DPS. It is not focused around utilities. So they are making some minor utility changes, but they're not doing an overhaul of them. So what you're seeing is them saying, okay, as far as strictly DPS numbers, this is where they fall, and this is where we want them to be, so they're getting a slight nerf, or they're getting a slight bump, or whatever it's going to be. So we'll see what happens. It seems to me, from what I've read, this is going to put the mercs, DPS-wise, in line with the marksman and snipers. At least Arsenal mercs. And that seems to make sense to me. Like, as far as they're both ranged DPS, they're both considered to be bursty, so they both should probably be performing at roughly the same point. It would have been nicer to see them bring the marksmen up to the mercs as opposed to bringing the mercs down, but this is what they chose to do. So until they announce everything and kind of get to compare how everything falls and see, did it fall in line with that kind of things should be plus 5%, plus 2.5%, minus 5%, whatever that number is, we won't really know until it's all done.
Oh, cool. All right, well...
Devs aren't out there to ruin the game. keep that in mind. They're out there to make it more fun for us to play. It may not be what we want, but this is what the direction they think it should go. And all in all, they've done a good job as far as when they've made changes, I think.
Right.
Well, they have all the things. I mean, they're looking at all the numbers. They're you know what I mean? Like, they take our feedback into it, but I mean, if they're making the changes, they must see that is something that probably needs to happen.
Right.
Yeah, and I think Mock said it right. I think until you see everything, that's the way. So you kind of have to wait and see.
Exactly. Hey guys, so do anything else to say about that?
Nope.
Stop hating on Mercs.
Yeah. Stop the hate.
Will, stop hating on Mercs, damn it.
Damn it, Will. We're blaming you still. Anyway, so I think we should give out a prize. I think we might still have one loyal listener still in the chat room there. So I think I'm just going to give it to him if Devin's still there. I got a code for 450 cartel coins. I'm just going to give it up to him.
Yeah, put it in chat, see who grabs it.
Yeah, it's going. It's happening.
Yeah.
Now we see all lurkers come in.
I know, right? All of a sudden there's like 15 people in the chat. All right, so before we get to our Star Wars section, yeah, make sure you grab that, Devin.
Yeah, grab it, buddy.
Before Kid Lee gets it, if he's still there. I think he's mad about our audio, honestly. But Devin seems to be fine. I don't know. Anyway, so let's get before we get to Star Wars. Sometimes we do a podcast corner, and I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I know Mox has been working on his podcast resolution. How's that going, sir?
It's going okay. You know, this stems back from the new year. Our friends over at here, Chuck and Brian.
Bad Feeling.
Their podcast. Bad Feeling. Yeah. They asked us in the community for our resolutions, like what's our New Year's resolution, and mine was to try to listen to a new podcast each week. I'm a little behind, maybe about 3 weeks behind, but all in all, I've tried to have a kind of broad spectrum of stuff. I've listened to stuff having to do with SWTOR. I've listened to stuff having to do with like just tabletop gaming, a little bit of politics. Some serial killer stuff, which Will probably would love. Some wrestling stuff, so all kinds of different things that I've listened to, and it's been fun.
Yeah, cool. I usually get caught up in my standard stuff. I don't branch out a new podcast too often because I'm bogged down with the 50-something that I listen to right now. I listen to a lot of D&D stuff, a lot of Sandspan stuff, but I really like different podcasts, and I love podcasting, so I'm glad you're doing that, man. And yeah, any new podcasts, anything really cool recently you want to throw out there?
Well, the one that I listened to that I think you would like is called The Great Beer Adventure.
Oh,
It's
that
about
sounds good.
craft beers and microbreweries and things of that nature. So really neat. The episode that I had listened to of that, they had a guy on there named Steve Schmidt, and he joined the host there and talked about like a pod fest. They were at a pod fest in Orlando, and he talked about a craft brewery explosion, all the different things that have been going on in there. So definitely was neat to, it's something I know nothing about, so it was interesting.
Nice. I wrote that down. I'm excited. I like beer podcasts too. I haven't listened to the one I used to listen to. I don't listen to that much anymore, but there's my commas.
So yeah, so that's good. So I'm up to about mid-May, like as far as dates are concerned. So like I said, I'm a few weeks behind on it, but trying to keep up with it. I've never been good at New Year's resolutions, so the fact that I've almost gotten through half a year and stuff like this is pretty good.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, so let's get to Star Wars, man. We have a few things, and I think we're going to talk a little Battlefront and some other stuff. So let me play the bumper for that if I can find it. 1 second.
I was raised to do one thing. But I've got nothing to fight for.
Nothing will stand in our way. I will finish what you started.
All right, so I have a couple discussion topics in here I thought would be kind of interesting for you guys, since I know you're kind of Star Wars fans, right? We have Joel Egerton, who played Uncle Owen in the prequels, wants to reprise his role. And this is one of those non-stories that I like to talk about sometimes because it sparks other things. He's like, oh, well, you could fit me in somewhere, right? But what do you guys think of this, and would it even make sense?
Is it going to be
you're
Uncle
dead.
Owen's like open fire pit barbecue?
Nice. I'm guessing this is before he dies, but that's just my guess.
So, like, maybe he bumped into young Han Solo, perhaps?
Or a young, more likely young
I
Obi-Wan.
I think that's what he's getting at here. Well, let me read something here real quick. He says, I like the idea that Uncle Owen is one of those guys who has done some super cool SHIT, right? But has never bragged about it. And this is what he told Business Insider, because I guess he was doing an interview with them. And he said, my idea is that he could go out and have some adventure. And then he comes back and slips back into that unassuming moisture farmer role. Everyone talks about Obi-Wan being super cool. Owen secretly knows that he was there, and he did some cool shit too. What do you guys think?
I thought the whole point of Uncle Owen was he didn't do anything. He wasn't adventurous at all. That's why he was keeping Luke from doing it.
But I don't know, that conversation, okay, ever look at his face in A New Hope, where he gets real shifty when Luke is talking. Like, is he like,
Right.
when he's talking about Vader, like, was he on adventures with him or something? You know what I mean? Like, or Kenobi, I mean, and talking about his father? I don't know. I think it's a bit of a stretch,
I
obviously.
would like, if I'm the director, sure, we've got a spot for you. And then when he gets on set, just put him like in the back. We need an extra right over here.
Yeah, you stand here and...
Bantha outfit.
Yeah. You bring me water. Right.
Oh, I'm glad that went that way. I thought that was pretty funny.
Moisture farmer, water.
He's a moisture farmer, and that's what he should be, right? And then he dies, which we all know happens. Not really a spoiler, but it is very sad. It's a good moment. It's a sad moment.
I didn't pick up on the burning corpses there.
Yeah, I didn't either.
That scene.
Neither did
I
I.
did not pick up on until I was an adult.
Yeah, I agree. It was just you kind of focused on Luke's reaction and you see the fire, but I know when I was a kid I didn't see the burning corpses either, and it's way more powerful as an adult. It's like, oh damn, they're hella dead, and they're laying right there.
It also could be because I just have better TVs now than we had when we were kids, right?
It's probably that too.
Right.
All right, so I don't know if you guys heard about this, but we talked about it last week or the week before. Mark Hamill had some disagreement with the director of The Last Jedi, and essentially what he said, well, I disagree with everything, the direction you're taking, Luke, but I'm going to do my best to, fulfill your vision kind of thing. Did you guys hear about this?
And then he didn't get a speaking part in that movie? Right?
Not until I saw this. So, I had no idea they had a disagreement, but I thought that it was, it's one of those things. It's like a story, not story.
Yeah, and
because it sounded like it wasn't really an argument or disagreement. It was more like somebody heard that they just like that Luke didn't agree with the direction, but then when he did, it was like not a non-issue.
Yeah, exactly. And so Hamill basically said he fundamentally disagreed with everything he decided about Luke. And then he said, well, obviously he's an amazing filmmaker, if you look at what he's done. And he says, and it took me a while to get around to his way of thinking, but it's been a great experience. So it's one of those non-stories that is interesting because, well, yeah, but fake news and also not, because when you're an actor, especially someone who's been around and playing a character for this long, you sit there and you're like, well, this is what I see for Luke Skywalker. And then when
ownership of Luke.
Yeah, and then Rian Johnson comes along and says, actually, we're going to do this, 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 and this. And he's like, wait, what? But obviously it's going to work out and it's going to be fine. But and Hamill obviously works with people.
Outfit for Luke in Episode 8.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
God, I hope so. All right, so let's get to some Han Solo stuff. And the only reason I put this in here, and you'll see the stupidity of the post.
You're skipping something.
Oh, what did I skip?
Where your commas are.
Oh, damn it. I'm putting more commas.
Yep.
Sorry, I have to click out of that in order for that not to happen. Let's talk about books. Inferno Squad.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited. It's coming out earlier. They originally said August, and it's coming out July 25th, which Inferno Squadron is the canon book that will be talking about the group that is in Star Wars Battlefront 2, the story campaign.
Yeah, and we're going to talk more about Battlefront here in just a second, but I'm excited about this too. I wasn't the biggest fan of the last series, the Catalyst series stuff, and I didn't read Ahsoka, and I'm behind on a couple others. I'm almost through with Thrawn, but I'm excited about Inferno Squad, mostly because how badass Battlefront 2 looks.
Have you read or listened to Lost Stars?
Wait, this just in.
I haven't.
This just in.
I definitely.
Devin?
I know. Hold on, JT. Hold on.
Okay.
I think you should before Inferno Squadron because it's kind of the prequel to seeing things from. It's basically A New Hope from the Imperial side.
Oh, nifty. Okay. No, I've heard it's good. I just haven't read it yet.
Worth listening to or reading before you get into Inferno Squad.
All right, I will do that. Lost Stars and then Inferno Squad. Got it. July 25th.
So
Go.
Devin says the actress that is playing her will be reading it.
No way.
Video version.
Oh, that's awesome.
Pre-ordering it right now. That's
Yeah, no, I'm gonna do that when we're done. Sweet. July 25th. I have time. I'll get through them all. Cool.
Speaking of which, can't you get that on Audible?
Oh yeah, I missed my moment. Audibletrial.com/usual podcast if you want any of the books we've talked about for free. We usually talk about this later, but I like having a nice moment to plug it in. You can get a free audiobook on us, and we get $15, which is pretty cool. So definitely check that out. Audibletrial.com/usual podcast. Inferno Squad. What's the other one? Lost Stars, Thrawn, any of that. Yeah, totally. So any of those books are awesome. And if you want to dive back to non-canon stuff, there's a bunch of Old Republic stuff in there too, like Revan and what was the other good one? The Bane trilogy, all that stuff's there. So definitely check it out.
Theron stuff, right?
Oh yeah, the Theron stuff is good too. So, all right. So out of books into films. This is the stupidest post, but I love it. So the post I have as a marker for us to talk about the Han Solo film is Donald Glover's Lando mustache. Okay. It looks like a mustache, which is great, on Donald Glover, which I think is great. So you can check that out. But what do you guys think of the Han Solo film? Are you excited, not excited, or what?
I'm excited. I can't wait to see what you do with the Lando Mustache Twitter account that you're going to make.
Oh, that's in the works. I'll tell you that much. No, yeah. What do you think, JT?
I'm curious where they will pick up the Han Solo movie. Will it be part of him still be when he's in the Imperial Navy, or it'll be after that point?
Secretly, I hope it starts there.
Like, we don't know that. That was like
no, he wasn't.
Expanded universe, right?
Yeah, but that's also indicated by the pants he's wearing in A New Hope, right? And so the pants he's wearing in A New Hope are Imperial Navy pants. So we have to assume that that's canon. Yeah, as far as I know.
Oh, interesting.
So I'm hoping that they stay with that and start there, and then talk about how he became a smuggler, met Chewie, got the Falcon, met Lando. Like, that's what I want to see. I've been worried about this since the beginning.
A lot of stuff to come.
It is, and I've been worried when they announced this film, partially because what happens with Han Solo, obviously in Episode 7. But I've been worried about this film just because I don't want it to go the wrong direction, because Han Solo is my favorite Star Wars character. So
see, now I look at it like this: it's the same way I worried about the origin story of Wolverine.
Right.
And I was good to worry about it because they messed it up.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, and so I don't know. I'm more excited about it now than I have been, but honestly, I still have my reservations a little bit, and I really, really, really hope they don't do a Boba Fett movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't want to see that. I feel like we've got enough of that. We already got an origin. Like, I just don't think we need a Boba Fett movie. I'm hoping they're actually, and there's a story somewhere, I don't know if I talked about last week or I forgot to put it in this week, but they're supposed to announce, oh no, it's later. Nope, I didn't put it in. They're supposed to announce the next standalone movie at D23.
Yeah, I would say it's either going to be the Kenobi movie or a Boba Fett. I'm
God,
sorry.
I hope
it's
it's.
Going to make Boba Fett. It's going to make money.
I know, man, but I would rather see Kenobi. Did you read the Kenobi novel? That's not canon. If you read that, it's amazing.
Don't get me wrong, but I think they'll eventually make both of those.
Yeah, I don't know. How do you feel, Mox, about the Boba Fett movie?
I'm not a big Boba Fett fan. Honestly, he's take him or leave him. I know I'm probably pissing off millions of Star Wars fans, but
I'm not mad at you. I'm with you. I mean, I like Boba Fett, but like I said, I'd rather see Kenobi. I'd rather see a bunch of other
Kind
things.
of like Revan to me. You know, I'm over Revan. I'm over Boba Fett.
Yeah, and I think it's a little late to do Revan at this point too. And I think it's too late to do Boba Fett.
Pops up in The Last Jedi. Just saying.
Oh, here we go. We'll get to some Last Jedi speculation in a minute. I hope so. Anyway, I don't know. I'm excited to see the Han Solo. I'm going to see the Han Solo movie no matter what, obviously. But I'd rather see a Kenobi. If you guys haven't read the Kenobi novel, audibletrial.com/usual podcast, bust that out. It's something else. You get a whole perspective of the Sand People on Tatooine. You get a really cool look at what Obi-Wan Kenobi could have been while he was watching over Luke. So it's really badass. All right, Last Jedi. Should we do this thing?
Let's do it.
So JT, it was a JT. Yeah, you threw this in here late last night. And I was like, what are we looking at? So I read this morning. So is Snoke the Last Jedi? So this is one of those fan speculation deals, right?
Right. Yeah. It's one of those, like, it's clickbait kind of thing. But
right.
I got reading it, and it was like, what if Snoke was one of the original, like, Jedi or whatever, and it split somewhere after him. So in this article, they're kind of alleging that Snoke is like really, really, really old. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a cool idea, and maybe that's why Luke wants to separate. For me, it's kind of like, well, maybe he has something to do with that ideal of it. It's kind of, I never thought of like Snoke being associated with like that, but maybe. So maybe that's why Luke wants to do it. I don't know. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah,
This is out there.
Go ahead.
Like, I don't know. Have you guys read the Dr. Aphra comics yet?
I haven't yet. No.
No, not yet.
Yeah, the story in there, and I guess that's canon now, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Is way out there about the original Jedi. So be prepared. Like, have your tinfoil hat on when you read it, because it's wackadoo.
I always have my tinfoil hat on.
Exactly. He walks out of the house every day with it. So as far as Snoke goes, I think it's interesting. If he's the Last Jedi, why does he refer to Luke as the Last Jedi in The Force Awakens? I rewatched it a bunch of times at the end of the school year, and he says they're going to get the map. They're going to get the map to the Last Jedi. So if he's the Last Jedi,
Snoke actually says the Last Jedi.
Yeah, he says he's there. He says the Last Jedi, as far as I know.
Interesting.
I've watched it a bunch of times. He says
because at the time he actually is the Last Jedi.
Right. Luke is the Last Jedi, right?
Right.
So
doesn't mean he will always be the Last Jedi, but currently he is the Last Jedi. That is a factual statement.
Good point.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know. I like these theories are fun. There's a bunch of Snoke stuff out there. Do you guys have any speculation of who Snoke might actually be?
I don't know.
Snoke is Snoke.
Snoke is Snoke.
He's just some guy named Snoke, right?
Yeah.
I like that theory. I like
I
it.
don't know. He's gonna
Maybe he's Mace Windu.
I've heard that one.
I like my favorite's the stormtrooper that hit his head because he's got the scar. I love that one. Yeah, the stormtrooper that hits his head. I think in is it New Hope or Empire? I can't remember. But the guy who hits his head on the ceiling, and that's him. I like that one. It makes me laugh.
That's funny.
Anyway, should we get to some gaming stuff?
Sounds good.
Sorry, I had to get rid of my commas again. All right, so I did it again. I have to click out of it every time. Okay, so games. This VR thing. Have you guys seen this? This is weird, dude. It
looks terrible.
It looks so bad. Like, if we're gonna do VR, can we wait until it looks good? So the article I have in here is VR. There's a Star Wars VR experience that takes you to Vader's lava castle, and they've got this woman there, like with sort of like a wand connected to a TIE fighter. There's lava around her. It looks like really bad, like CGI from like the early 90s or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. It's really bad. Like, I don't understand what all the hype is for people like hook their phone up to like these goggles and do VR like that. That I can't see how that can really, other than visually like something being immersive. Like how it could really be virtual reality.
No, I agree, and I just feel like my phone is too close to my face. Like if I could do that, I feel like I don't know. I'm not a big fan of VR yet. I did do a really cool VR experience at Comic-Con. Was it last year? The year before? Maybe it was last year. And that had to do with the PlayStation VR, which was really neat. But again, I just don't know if I need VR right now. You know what I mean? In its current state.
Until they can do it like Ready Player One, then I'm down.
That's what I'm about. You know what I mean? And
Now,
when that happens, I'm in.
I got to see some of the VR thing that was, I think it was Sony that was doing with Battlefront 2, and you're actually in the cockpit of an X-wing.
Yeah, that came out a while ago, but I don't know what happened with that actually.
Yeah, I haven't heard any more about it, but that looked kind of something that is immersive. That was like a game that would require you to do a lot of looking around, like, and know where you are in comparison to everything else. Which a flight like simulator game, I can see that. But
Right. Let's talk about Battlefront 2 while we're already on that subject. So, any thoughts? You saw the trailer? Thoughts after E3? Did you guys buy the first one?
No, I didn't get the first one. I'm not a really first-person shooter guy, and when I found out they didn't really have a campaign in it, yeah, I definitely wasn't going to get it. Now, sometimes I'll just get it for the campaigns because I think something like that is pretty immersive. And now it looked promising, the first one, but this one by far looks so much better. The quality of everything, the fact that my younger nephew, not Zacho that you guys know, but the one younger than him, he plays a lot of the older Battlefront, and the fact that you're now able to play all three eras of heroes and villains and things, I think he's excited about that. I think it is really neat, and the fact that they're throwing on a strong single-player campaign, it's what the fans are wanting.
Yeah, I agree. And going back to the chat really quick, Kidley said it was just one mission. It was kind of rushed as far as the VR for the first Battlefront, I guess. But I agree with what you're saying about. I played the first Battlefront at San Diego Comic-Con before it came out, and it was fine. It was fun, but I just could not imagine buying it and playing it because it's just multiplayer. You know what I mean? This one, though, after the trailer and having a standalone, a solo campaign, I might just buy it for the solo campaign and every once in a while jump in for some fun. I love that it's across all the eras. It looks amazing. And then seeing Rey on the battlefield was cool, and Darth Maul and Yoda. I think it's gonna be pretty cool. I haven't decided yet if I'm gonna buy it or not, but it is what it is.
Yes, now you can talk about her mocks. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I was watching her. No, that actress, voice actress, she's smoking hot, and she
Agreed.
convinced me to buy it.
I actually tuned into that demo and I saw her. She came out in her little dress and stuff. I was like, oh man, she's adorable, and she's talking about the game and she's playing it. This is really, really cool. So I'm with you.
Badass. So yeah.
Yeah, she is pretty badass.
Yeah, that was cool. Anything else on Battlefront 2, guys?
Is that gonna be PC available? I forget. Is that only?
Should be.
It'll be
because I don't do consoles.
Yeah, it's gonna be on PC too.
Good.
Now, if they'd ever get it to where the whole Xbox Anywhere we can and combine where you can play against people on PC and Xbox, that would be epic. I would love doing that. But
yeah, I hope that happens. That'd be cool.
Right. I definitely think it's going to be a pretty good game. I wish I was better at first-person shooters because the fact that they're showing the Battle of Thebes there at E3 and seeing it, the atmospheric flight and plus all the other people on the ground fighting. I think it was 21 versus 21 battle, which I thought that's pretty epic. So.
Yeah, I like first-person shooters. I just haven't played them in a while. I was a big Halo guy back in the day. I love my consoles. I'm pretty decent at them, but I have not done them in so long. I've been playing another game for 5.5 years now, so that's happening. And then once you have kids, you don't get to play games as much as you used to.
Excuses.
I know, right? All right, so a cool segment I'm actually looking forward to before we get out of Star Wars this week. I put in here for Star Wars tabletop gaming. Let's talk tabletop gaming. You guys, is it both of you that are playing this?
Yeah, it's
Yep.
me JT, Jess, and Grog from the guild. Grog is our GM, and we are playing Star Wars Saga D20. And yeah, we're having a lot of fun.
And you guys are putting that out in audio or video format?
It's streamed, but we're not like on camera yet. Really, that might be happening.
Okay. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm the GM for my D&D group, which is sort of kind of breaking up for at least the summer. One of our players is moving to Colorado, and then, of course, Will, who's in the group, is moved away for the summer. So we'll see how it shapes up in the fall. But I love tabletop gaming. It's something I did when it was really like I went to a Catholic school as a kid. And and we were playing D&D, and this is like middle school, and of course everybody thought it was literally devil worship, and I'm like, are you kidding me right now? So it was insane. So I stopped playing, and then I tried to pick it up again in college, but now I have a decent group, you know, my wife and some other buddies, some colleagues, and of course Will and that kind of thing, and we have a great time and we love it. But it's just one of those things where I want to do an audio thing where I put out the audio eventually, or do something since everybody's kind of away. I'd like to be able to do something over the interwebs. So maybe I'll have to talk to you guys about how you guys do that. But I'd love to do that. But Star Wars was it was either Star Wars or D&D, and since I knew D&D, I went with that. But what do you think of the system?
Actually, I mean, for me, it's been a long time since I've been back into tabletop gaming, so comparing the systems, I'm not a good one for that. Mox would probably be better on the comparison. But what we use, are we on that Roll20?
Roll20.
Yeah.
Right, I've heard of that.
Website. And you can use that as, like, that Grog uses the map and stuff to stream for, like, everybody else that wants to pay attention instead of just the people that are participating. So that's kind of cool for...
Yeah, for sure.
The system's good. I have played a previous, the West End Games Star Wars, which was a D6, which was a lot of fun. I played that years ago. So the system's okay. It's harkens very similar to playing D&D. You know, it's all about, you know, skill checks and dice rolls and all that stuff.
Yeah, totally.
I'm playing a droid, which is a lot of fun. I've never played a non-organic, character before.
Oh, that's a cool option.
So. Yeah, exactly. I want to do something different. And Jess is our smuggler captain, and JT is our mysterious ex-military guy.
That's so cool.
So yeah, we're having a lot of fun.
We've had of a barn.
What's that?
I'm the ex-military guy that can't hit the broadside of a barn.
Right. JT had some bad rolls last week.
Epically bad.
Yeah.
We had 2 sessions, and at the end of the last session, I was at 0 health, and JT's at 0 health.
0 health, yeah.
Nice. That sounds about right. I tried to kill lots of people
JT
last week.
Missing a point blank, not missing, but doing rolling low damage on a point blank headshot.
Yeah, we had a prisoner, and it's like we didn't get any information out of him, so it's like we had nothing to do. We had like smuggler thing that we were going to have to do in like an hour or so, and so it's like, yep, okay, we don't have anywhere to put a Trandoshan. I'm going to just shoot him in the back of the head. How I missed a point-blank headshot? No idea, but I did.
You gotta love D&D or tabletop gaming for that, because if you can miss something that so obviously you shouldn't miss, that's just beautiful.
Well, he got a damage roll. It just was like really low.
Nice.
You know, so he got the hit.
So you hit, you just didn't kill.
Yeah. and unfortunately, it's Trandoshan, so it's like, you know, he like then turned and grappled JT, and like it just turned into this really comical.
That sounds awesome.
See, Archer says, confirm JTX Stormtrooper.
That's awesome.
Yes, it is. Shh, you weren't supposed to give away the story.
So yeah, we had a lot of fun with that. So that is on twitch.tv/ I think it's Grumpy Dwarf Gaming. Is that right?
Yeah, we'll have to give you the link to make sure we get that right.
Yeah, get the link in the show notes at some point, because I've been meaning to check it out and haven't had a chance yet. So that's cool.
Need to tune in for Jess, because she does an awesome accent.
Oh, that's sweet. Okay, guys, anything else to say about that?
I need better dice.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys are doing that. I love some tabletop gaming. Quick merchandise things. Luke Skywalker's original lightsaber's up for sale. So apparently that's going to go for a whole lot of money, which is as things do.
Isn't that a spoiler?
Is it? I don't know.
Ray selling it? Is that kind of tell?
Oh, I think that's it, right? She's like, I scavenged it. It's fine.
It's totally standard.
And one last thing I want to put out there before we get to some general pop culture news and talk about Wonder Woman a little bit. Parks news. We're going to get some Star Wars Land details next month, it looks like, at D23, which I'm really excited about. I've been going to Disneyland every year since I was 4 months old, multiple times a year when I lived in San Luis, and I love it. And I'm a big Star Wars fan, obviously, and I can't wait for this to happen. Have you guys, what do you guys think about this?
Sounds
I don't
pretty
live near
awesome.
close to either one, so it's yeah, whatever.
Do you think you'll try to? Do you think you'll try to go when it opens, or when it opens?
Possibly. If I go down there again, yes, I would definitely make a point to go to. If I was in Florida or California, I would make a point to go there.
Yeah.
If I show up, you guys will have to join me in my group or whatever, because if you happen to be with somebody that's in a wheelchair, they get pushed to the
That's
front of the
right.
line.
Yeah, exactly. My uncle is the same thing, and every time he's going with us next month when we go. So yeah, that it's funny because they worked around that a little bit at Disneyland. All the new rides, they make it so they're wheelchair accessible, so everybody has to sit in line. But the older rides, like the Fantasyland stuff, you go right to the front. It's awesome.
It is awesome.
It's really nice when you have little kids that are impatient. It's like, okay, Unc, let's get it through there, and then we all just get to the front. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I heard that Disneyland's hurting right now though for ticket sales.
Oh yeah, because
Ticket sales are down because they're so expensive.
well, here's the problem, and this is my beef, and why I've taken a second job, which is why we didn't record last night. I'm trying to save money for this damn trip that my mom planned, and I'm all excited about. We're gonna go, but for my family of 4, I have 2 kids and me and my wife, obviously. It's just under $1,000 for a 2-day hopper pass. Yeah, just for the park. Wow. It's like $900 and something dollars. And every single year, and we've taken my kids every year, it goes up every single year. And if they would actually stop upping the ticket sales, and maybe even, not that they would ever backtrack on them, but they wonder why their numbers are going down. They're just too expensive. It's too much.
Yeah.
That's my beef. Rant over.
Totally agree, sir.
All right, I have to check on something super, super quick before we get to the last section. So give me 45 seconds, and I will be right back, boys. Okay?
All right.
All right, this is where me and Mox entertain the group.
No.
Let us entertain you.
Wonder what it is.
Okay,
One of the kids screaming with their screaming bloody murder. You think?
Bloody murder. Yeah, right. So we're going to talk about Wonder Woman. Have you guys all seen Wonder Woman in the chat room?
Sing
off. Yeah.
That ain't happening.
That's
kid.
not
I'm
happening.
too smart. I do not sing on mic.
Will gets back and there's 0 viewers. Twitch has kicked him off. That will know why.
If we hit $5,000 this year in Extra Life, I'll sing. There you go.
Oh.
5,000.
5,000?
5,000.
You know what?
It's
The last time we hit 5,000, I had to sing.
I know.
I'm just saying.
I know. But we had somebody donate 1,000. Like that was like you and I didn't ever think that was going to happen.
Yeah, you just okay. I'm here. Everybody, all these people in chat. Kidley's
All
here.
these people, yes. All
Devin,
2 of them.
Arjar are here. So we have you on tape now.
Yep.
You heard it here, folks. Okay, so Devin's seen it. Arjar, you've not seen it. I believe we might be giving away some spoilers. Don't want to chase you off.
Just so you know.
That's later. That's later on the show, though. How many have seen the Black Panther trailer?
We're going to talk about that later too, damn it.
I know. I'm asking. I'm polling our audience, man.
Oh, polling. Okay.
All right. Sorry about that. I just had to make sure my wife was actually home and, my kids were being taken care of. That's important.
Oh, okay, good.
We had a few things happen while you're gone.
Oh,
Mox
cool.
said he would sing. Kidley wanted us to do a sing-off, and we thought, nah. We said negative on the sing-off.
What?
But Mox did say if we reach 5,000 in donations for Extra Life, he would sing. So there's that.
I am excited. So
I'm excited now.
5,000. That's
know we
easy.
can make it happen.
That's 150% of our goal.
We totally can do it, man. Now,
I think-
for the whole year, right? You right?
Yeah.
Well, we heard it here first, so here we
There
go.
you go.
All right, guys. How are we doing on time? You guys okay for a little bit longer?
Yeah. Yeah, we're fine.
Yeah, we're good.
Cool. All right, let's get to the last section. I will play my awesome bumper. 1 second.
I can't imagine any kind of future where I'm a hero.
Well, you're not.
In the future, none of you are heroes. You're legends.
All right, and as we do with this last section, which is basically just a roundup of all pop culture news and stuff that we do on our little show, we're gonna start with some sad news, and that is the death of Adam West. He died at 88, and he died this week, and it was really sad. I have a little story to go along with that in a minute here, but how did this affect you guys, or Adam West fans, or what?
Oh, I'm a big Adam West fan. I mean, that was the
Totally.
first Batman that I knew of. He was, I saw somebody refer to him as, I think it was Burt Ward, in talking about him, refer to him as the Bright Knight. And I think that is
Yeah,
a good way
definitely.
to identify him. He was, took the character to a lighter place and was not afraid to, have fun with it.
Right. Yeah, that was actually for my streaming last weekend, Saturday. I was going to do lounge music anyway, and I went ahead and kept it for Adam West and tried to get some of the campy 60s stuff. And I actually came across a couple songs he did, and you can find them on YouTube. It's pretty funny, where he actually is in the whole Bruce Wayne Batman character, and he's singing these songs. So it was hilarious. And like Mark said, he kind of took it to a lighter place. I mean, he's definitely campy and stuff, but when I think about it, when I was a kid, I didn't notice that he was like destroyed Batman. I just thought I always enjoyed waiting to see it, man.
Yeah, and that's my thing too. Bright Knight, I think, fits perfectly. My whole thing with the 1966 Batman was, for me, it was, as a lot of geeks and nerds back then. When I was a kid, obviously, I've been bullied and that kind of stuff. And every day, me and my buddy, after a day of in the trenches, between, basically 4th and 5th grade, coming home after school, that was what we watched. And there was something about, and you're right, it was campy, but we didn't get it, but we loved it. That was Batman. And it hit me harder than I thought it would when he died. And mostly, too, because I listened to Hollywood Babylon, and Ralph Garman, who is and Kevin Smith, who do that show. Ralph Garman was actually spearheaded with his daughter, getting him a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Awesome.
And the fact that there were people putting roses on his star, which was great, and stuff like that. I mean, it hit me harder than I thought it would, and it makes me sad thinking about it. But I mean, 88, all the things he did, all his voiceover, and what he brought to Batman, I'm really thankful that he existed and that show existed at the time that I needed it. You know what I mean?
Right. And, the Dark Knight couldn't have existed on TV in the 60s. I mean, people just have to understand that. It just was a different era, different censoring and such in there, that just things were different. And for having a superhero show, it was not much different than how Superman was.
Exactly.
And it opened up to more people, being the fact it being able to be shown to more households and stuff like that. It opened up the whole hero of Batman to more people.
Exactly. And that's indication, and it was that hour block every day coming home after school, and being able to watch Batman for an hour was just really, really a big part of my childhood, which was really cool. So one of the things to add to this is yesterday in Los Angeles, they put a bat signal up as a tribute to Adam West, which I have a link in the show notes for. I thought that was just really freaking badass.
Yeah, that was cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, and somebody tweeted that that they failed for not putting it up in the sky. I'm like, well, what are the odds that it was a cloudy day in Los Angeles?
Yeah, exactly.
No, come on.
Yeah, exactly. I think the building was a good bet there. And so if you want to hear Adam West, if you want to hear It was episode 281 of Hollywood Babylon, where Ralph Garman talks about his friend Adam West. It's a tough listen because you can tell in his voice and how hard it is for him to get through the segment, but it's definitely worth checking out. I think you can find just that clip on YouTube too, but I have the link to the whole episode on there. If you haven't listened to Hollywood Babylon, it's great. So it's usually funny, but they always do a part where they talk about celebrities who died, and sometimes it hits them harder, harder depending on who they are, because they're both have contact with celebrities. So anyway, anything else to say about Adam West, guys?
Nope.
Alrighty, so let's get into our real review section, which is basically just TV and movie news. A couple quick things. Do you guys watch Game of Thrones? I put this in here for that.
Love it. Can't
I
wait
know,
for it.
right?
Actually, no, I haven't even started
Oh
reading it.
my
I've been reading
God.
it. I want to get into it. But actually, it doesn't fit in my Amazon Prime. It costs more money, man. I'm cheap.
I know, it's expensive. I might be able to help you out with that, but we have Game of Thrones season 7. They're gonna have longer episodes, so they were only gonna have, I think, 6 or 7 episodes in this next season.
So it better be longer.
Right. So since they're having fewer episodes, they're gonna have longer episodes. So I think we're gonna get just about the same amount of time with the series.
Make any sense to you? Like why do it that way?
Why do it? Yeah, that seems weird.
I don't get it, honestly. I think after the fact, they're like, well, we have more story to tell, and they're like, well, let's just make the episodes longer. So why not just put a couple extra episodes? Like, I don't quite understand why they went this route, but
I don't know if I want 2-hour-long Game of Thrones.
I want to say I don't, but I secretly do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because then it's like a Game of Thrones movie every week.
Yeah.
So definitely, JT, you got to watch it. It's amazing.
Yeah, I definitely want to.
I mean, I've read all the books, but now that we're out of books, the series is quite phenomenal. So definitely check that out. And what do you guys think? Did you guys play Castlevania back in the day?
Yes, I did. Back in the day.
No, I was never a Castlevania fan.
Okay, I only put this in here just to see what you guys thought. But Netflix, they're going to do a Castlevania anime series. And that's going to premiere at Rooster Teeth Animation Festival. And I was just curious to see, are you anyway interested in a Castlevania animation series, anime series?
Well, I mean, I guess it depends on the style of animation and what they're going with. If they stay true to like the style of the Castlevania game, yeah, maybe I'd check it out. But just for nostalgic purposes, I don't know that I would be like, ooh, Castlevania, must see.
Right. Yeah, I'm kind of torn. I like anime, just, but Castlevania is cool. I'd be interested to see it. And actually, Kid Lee, to go back to Adam West thing, I didn't put that link in the show notes, but Adam West did complete his last Batman film. It was animated series, or animated film, from what I understand. So that should be coming out in a bit, too. So that's good.
Nice.
Do you guys watch Doctor Who?
I am a Doctor Who fan, yeah.
Yeah, I watched some of the Doctor.
Nifty. What do you guys think of this fact that we're not getting a female doctor this time? And they've already cast a new doctor, from what I understand. But the showrunner is talking about, and I think it's kind of a weak defense as far as the why they're not doing a female doctor. But do you think it's more of just like we've never done it, so we're not going to do it? Or does it have to do with the climate of like the Wonder Womans and stuff out there right now? I don't know. What do you guys think?
I don't know. Personally, I think if you have an established character, I'm not saying it can never be a female one, or should or should not be. I just think that, it should be up to them to pick the best person to be the next Doctor. It shouldn't matter either way. I mean, if you got an established character, maybe you want to keep it that way. I mean, it should be the prerogative of the creative people. I think too many times everybody wants to control the creativity, even though we say we're expanding the creativity of it, we're actually eliminating it because, oh, wait, you need to have such and such fill in the blank gender to fill this void because everybody else is doing this gender or whatever. Well, I understand that need to maybe open it up, and I'm fine with it if they pick somebody of quality to do it that way, but I don't think there should be a requirement.
No, I'm with you. And there's always, and we're at that time of humanity, I guess, where we have to include everybody, and I get that, and I'm going to have something to say about that when it comes to Black Panther, of course, but I don't think Doctor Who should be required to have a female doctor. I would like to see a female doctor, honestly, but at the same time, if they're not going to cast it, I'm not going to be like, well, I'm done with Doctor Who. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I think that sometimes political correctness, equality goes a step too far. I've never read it, but like I saw those Spider Gwen comics. I'm like, why? Why do you feel the need to do that? Why do you have to have Spider Girl just because you have Spider Man? Why not just make a new, unique female hero, or take an existing one like they did with Wonder Woman and do it well? Because that will freaking be awesome, and it was.
Right, and they did that. They actually brought Silk in, and that was an amazing character. It was an original. It was one of their newest original characters they've done in a while.
Yeah, I'm with you guys.
Yeah, no need to force it. Like, why is Captain Marvel a woman all of a sudden? I don't get that, at all.
All right, so yeah, no, I'm with you guys. I think we'll see how this goes. It took me a while to warm up to the Doctor that's been around, actually longer than a lot of the other Doctors have been around. But I like him, and I like the new companion, and I'm eager to see who the next Doctor is going to be. I know he's done. Peter Capaldi's done. So he said basically he's not going to continue with the series because he wanted to make sure he gives his best work, and he's been at it for a while. So we'll see who the next Doctor is.
Gotcha.
I'm all for a Rose Doctor personally, but that's just, I love that actress.
Me too.
Right.
Oh my god, I love that girl. Okay, so John Wick. I don't know. I've never saw the movies.
I couldn't get past the first scene of the first movie. Where
I haven't watched either.
All right, then I'm gonna gloss over this then because Will loves John Wick, and I only put this in here just to see if you guys watch it.
Horrible, man.
I know, right? He was just watching John Wick 2. He's like, oh my god, this is amazing. I was like, I haven't watched any of them, but I guess it's getting his own TV show, and Keanu Reeves might guest star in it. Cool if you like that kind of thing.
He needs work,
It's
right?
gonna fail.
Yeah, you think?
I mean, look what they did with God, what was that other one that Keanu Reeves played? The Constantine.
Oh right, yeah. That wasn't too bad, but I just the thing is I like Keanu Reeves. I just like him as a human being, and The Matrix was something special, So I love that guy. All right, so
He said Chris Hemsworth wants to play Lady Thor.
oh, that'd be great. Yeah,
Already?
do that. Doesn't he already? Nice. All right, so Guillermo del Toro, who did the first two Hellboy films, finally, after all the Hellboy drama, gives his blessing to the Hellboy film reboot. Obviously, it's out of his hands one way or the other. I don't know if you guys heard about this, and I threw it in there for that, but they're doing a Hellboy reboot, and it's not going to be with Guillermo del Toro spearheading it, and in fact, they didn't even know it was happening, and the actor just flew out of my head.
Permission, or was it
No.
just out of respect?
Well, the thing was, it was Guillermo del Toro, and the actor's name just flew out of my head, who played that Hellboy in those films. They weren't informed they were going to do a reboot and weren't asked to come back, but they were already trying to get a third movie going for quite a long time. So it was kind of a shady deal. And there's been some back and forth with it, but at this point they're just like, well, it's happening either way. What are we going to do about it?
Yeah, I like Hellboy, but really a reboot?
Well, we're rebooting everything now, boys, right? I mean, that's just what we do.
That's all we do.
Everything's a reboot. All right.
Marvel.
Except for Marvel. And let's talk about the awesome... What? My commas. Wait.
Gamma chameleon.
Nice. Let's talk about Black Panther, dude. I have watched this trailer over a dozen times. Oh, thanks, Kid Lee. Ron Perlman. That was it. He was the guy who played Hellboy. Let's talk about Black Panther because I think this is super important. What do you guys think of the trailer? Let's just start with that.
Oh, it's totally badass.
I love it. It's awesome. I really like how they are going right into the vault of Marvel about Wakanda and the whole Black Panther legend, and they're putting it on film. I think it's about time. I love it. I think it was great. And Andy Serkis laugh. Holy cow.
I know, right?
I just died. I had to just watch that like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, no,
For the laugh.
I'm excited about this film. Black Panther was one of my favorite favorite characters in Civil War. The way he moved, the way he landed, the way he spoke, the obviously deep love for his father, all that stuff just kind of hit me. And as a black geek, for me, Black Panther is pretty much what I need to see on screen. I dare to say it's my Wonder Woman. I cannot wait. I watch this trailer so many times, mostly because that's just what I want to see on screen. So I'm with Devin in the chat. I cried in the beginning with the combination of the music and how badass everything looked. And there's this awesome history that I don't know enough about because I didn't dive into the comics and stuff. I just absolutely cannot wait for this.
Oh yeah, Kid Lee was Frodo interrogating Gollum. You caught that, right?
Oh yeah, nice.
That was it.
I like that. That is good. I just thought about that. Nice.
But yeah, I think everything they've done so far with Black Panther, like you said in Civil War, I was skeptical how they were going to bring Black Panther into this already well-established now Marvel universe, and if they're going to do it justice. And because like some of the changes, the costume, I was like, this is going to look stupid. And the way they've done it is just, he makes him look badass. I mean, seriously, and that's what Black Panther always was. And I'm excited for the movie.
Yeah, I think Marvel's doing a good job with new stuff. I think they're beating some dead horses with some older stuff, though. Like, the Logan movie. I had zero interest in it.
Did you see it though?
Oh
no,
see,
I had no interest in it.
It's like
I saw the trailer and just like, oh my god, that looks terrible.
It was good though. That movie was good.
Yeah, I think I failed my geek card because I haven't seen it yet, and I need to see it.
You got to see that.
I think they need to give the X-Men a break. Give it a break and come back to it.
See, that's not Marvel Studios.
No, it's not. And I agree that X-Men, I didn't even put the Dark Phoenix news in here. I'm with you, but as far as the X-Men stuff goes, Logan is the best thing that's ever come out of that. It's phenomenal. It's really good. But back to Black Panther really quick. It did crack the top 10 of the most watched trailers in the first 24 hours. And part of it, I think, has to do with the music, which was pretty sick. The song itself, I got on Spotify. It's fine. But the way they spliced it in with the trailer, it's way more epic. And there's a synopsis that I'm not going to read in case people don't want to have that right now. But I have that link in the show notes as well. But I just can't wait for Black Panther. It's going to be one of those movies I know I'm going to see at least a few times in the theater, for sure.
What is the date on that?
2018, I think.
Right? Yeah, I think it's next year at some point.
Next year?
Yeah.
In the spring?
When
it's going to fall?
Let me double check. Is it after Thor?
Thor's in November. And then you got this new Star Wars one that comes out. And I wasn't sure. And then Devin says February 18th, he thinks. That makes about sense, about that time. Because when
post Valentine's Day, that's good.
It's February 16th, 2018.
February 16th, nice.
And that is Avengers: Infinity War is going to be May 4th, and before that, Thor: Ragnarok is November of this year. Yeah.
Okay, so Marshall, you need to do something really good for your wife.
Yeah, right.
And then Black Panther time.
Oh, she's going to that movie. She's gonna love it. And then Spider-Man: Homecoming is on July 7th of this year, which I can't wait for as well.
That looks so good.
Yeah, that's an example of it seems to be a good reboot of something.
Actually, and that's a good way of doing a reboot. It's a new version of Spider-Man, and yet they're not going back to the origin because he's already in the Marvel Universe.
Right, and I just love that they've already got that little bit from Civil War, and they're just going to go from there, and I love it. That's going to be great.
Perfect.
All right, let's talk about E3 real quick before we get into Wonder Woman and get out of here. So E3, we had a couple things. We have a BioWare game called Anthem. Do we know anything about this game, guys?
Apparently, everybody says it's going to be the greatest thing ever, even though we know nothing about it.
To me, it just kind of looks like Halo a little bit.
Did you guys watch the Microsoft one?
No.
I didn't, no.
Yeah, the Microsoft one showed a little bit more of actual gameplay and stuff. And to me, the part I saw, and Kid Lee's in the audience here, he could probably tell you more about it, looked a lot, kind of reminiscent of Destiny in the way of different roles and stuff like that. I definitely think it's going to be a unique game. It's going to be definitely a shooter type of game. It'll be interesting how they work everything. I love the world. The thing I thought was interesting, and it may just be a small thing, is where you started off and you got like the outside world, and they like going to start a mission. I thought, okay, here comes a loading screen. Then the one person just flew off, and they were actually flying to wherever they were going to this area, instead of like, okay, we're going to do a loading screen to the next area. So anything that can alleviate some of that, and you're actually more in an open world kind of thing, I think is good. So
That's cool. Yeah, I don't know. I like BioWare games, and I know there'll be a rich story with it. So I'm intrigued to see what happens with it. Really going back really quick to Black Panther, Devin pointed out it's Black History Month when it comes out, which I think that's amazing. February. That is awesome. I didn't even put that together, so thanks for that. And then Kidley says BioWare's version of Destiny is what he's touting Anthem. So I never played Destiny. Did you play Destiny?
No, I hadn't played that. I've watched a lot of people that have played it, though.
Yeah, I never
thing with Bio's crack at Destiny. Yeah, because
I
jump off the tower. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's talk about Assassin's Creed really quick, dude. Because that came out during E3 as well. They took a year off, and honestly, the reason I fell off the franchise, and I told you guys off before we started recording, that I'm a big Assassin's Creed fan, but I've never finished any of the games because I just kind of get caught up running around and killing people. And the stories are great, and I love that they're all period pieces and stuff like that. But I have most of them for Xbox. I'd like to get them on PC, and I think I'm going to pick up Origins because it's been a couple years and I haven't played in a while, and that's the one that there's a trailer for. And the trailer for is sick. It's set in Egypt, and that is going to be, again, the Brotherhood, which I think is going to be pretty cool. So I'm stoked about it. The trailer looks sick. I have not played it on my PC, so I'm used to having a controller in my hand, which I know I can get around and do anyway. But I don't know. What do you guys think? You don't play Assassin's Creed, no?
No, I mean,
but you can always get a controller for your PC, right?
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, totally. Which I'll probably do if I get the game, because there's something about playing Assassin's Creed with a controller that makes more sense to me.
I did like one of the things they showed off at E3 with that is they kind of used I'm trying to think of the game, but they basically used an eagle that's with you to mark targets, which is similar like at the war games where they had a drone you could mark targets with. So that was kind of neat. So different elements added.
Yeah, cool.
The idea of Assassin's Creed, just I've never played it.
I'm a big, I love Assassins. I'm a writer, and my writing centers on Assassins. It's just something that I love, and I've always loved. So Assassin's Creed's always intrigued me. I love the gameplay, but like I said, I have been playing a different game for a while, so I just come back to that one when I can game. So speaking of things I do like pirates as well. And this,
oh my God, this looks so epic.
I know, we were talking about this the other day in our chat, going back and forth on Twitter. So Skull and Bones, what do you guys think?
I am so excited for this. It can't come soon enough for me.
Right. It actually looks like World of Warships meets Captain Jack Sparrow. That's what it looks like. It looks pretty epic. And the thing I like is that not only you try to beat the other enemy, you actually have to go in there and get the loot and then get out of there. So it's another aspect of that I think is pretty cool for that.
Yeah. Did you guys ever play Sid Meier's Pirates?
I did. I like that game.
This reminds me of that, but so much better.
Yeah, I like the idea of it. It looks beautiful, and I love the tactical part of it. I think that looks cool. I think for me, I would like to still have a character and be able to get out of the boat and do a thing. But that's just me. But other than that, it looks really cool.
Yeah, I hope there's a good story along with it. Something of a story.
Yeah, Kid Lee's actually pros the other pirate game that was there, Sea of Thieves, and kind of going head-to-head against Skull and Bones. Sea of Thieves, and he can confirm this, I believe there's some stuff where you actually get out of the ship and do some other things, like board other ships and different things like that, so...
Yeah, and I didn't play Assassin's Creed Black Flag. That's kind of what I imagine. That's kind of like the pirate game I would like, is the tactical stuff, and then be able to get out and cut people apart and stuff. That'd be fun. I'm not evil. or anything, but it's fine.
Not at all.
All right, no, not
Just misunderstood.
Yeah, exactly. So anything else E3 wise, guys? Any other trailers or games you're excited about that came out of all those press conferences?
I won't play it just because I don't have a Nintendo Switch, but the one I thought was just the craziest mashup was Mario and the Rabbits. They're gonna have a game together, and that looked it looked like basically, you guys ever play XCOM?
Yes.
No.
It's basically XCOM for kids. It's like, here, let's train kids how to play XCOM. Let's get them Mario and Rabbids together. And it looked hilarious. And the combo moves you could do, it looked so funny.
Well, that sounds cool. I don't have a Switch, though.
A current game, but back in the day, it was a turn-based strategy game where it was like, humans against aliens. And it was so cool.
Oh, man, I'm totally almost forgetting the one we talked about in our chat. Turn-based. Made me think of it. Battletech.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, that was it. They're bringing that game, and it looks like we're almost bringing a tabletop version to a PC type of thing. I mean, some of the moves, harkens back to moves I read about in the Battletech books and stuff. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited about that one. I'll probably check that game out for sure.
Yeah, I love turn-based stuff, and I was telling you guys this in chat. I love, Final Fantasy Tactics, early Final Fantasy. That's the kind of turn-based stuff I like. I played, what was not StarCraft. There's a couple other ones, Warcraft, and stuff like that. I love turn-based stuff. I like being able to take my time, figure out what I'm doing. The real-time strategy, I'm not the biggest fan of, but I love, I don't know if you guys ever played Final Fantasy Tactics, but stuff like that is like some of my favorite stuff to play.
Yeah, I agree. I like that stuff too. So I'm excited to see some of those type of games coming back.
Cool. Anything else from E3?
Yep.
Cool. So do you guys watch any of the CW stuff? Like Legends of Tomorrow or Arrow or...
I'm behind, but yes, I do. I have about 9 episodes of each on my DVR.
Okay, cool. I won't spoil anything. I just want to see if you guys watch it. I'm current on everything but Supergirl. My goal this summer is to catch up on Supergirl. But Legends of Tomorrow, the only news I'm going to throw out there from Legends of Tomorrow is Amaya, who plays... why did I just forget? Who plays...
From the Justice Society.
Yeah, she plays... what the hell? Anyway, she's from the Justice Society. She's got the Spirit Totem. For some reason, her superhero name flew out of my head. It's not. Is it Vixen?
Granddaughter is Vixen.
Yeah. No, it's Vixen. Yeah, it's Vixen. She's gonna be returning in season 3, which is really cool. Legends is my favorite one, which is why I put this in here. I love Legends of Tomorrow.
She's going away. Oh. I'm still season 2 noob on Netflix, so sorry.
Oh no, it's fine. But I love those shows, and Legends is my wife and I is our favorite one. So just threw that in there. So let's talk about Wonder Woman, guys. We've all seen it.
Yep, I have.
So good.
Yeah, it was.
So good.
I was at work last night, and one of the regulars that comes into the restaurant, she was going for her 5th time to see the film. So that says something. I only saw it once. I took the wife a couple days ago, and I don't even know really where to go with it. It's really good. And I love Batman, but as far as the DC stuff goes, this is something else. I love it.
Yeah.
It's just like everybody who said, that women can't direct comic book movies or they're against it or whatever, it proves them wrong. But on the other side of the coin, it proves she's just a good director. It doesn't matter if she's a guy or a girl.
Right.
She is a good director. She put out a quality product, and people love it.
Agreed. And in the beginning, I was just so happy to be watching it finally. And some of those first shots, and there are going to be some spoilers in here, guys. Sorry. Some of those first shots on Themyscira, where the Amazons are coming down to fight the Germans as they're invading or coming onto the beach. Some of those first shots had me tearing up. It was just so beautifully shot. I think the shot that really got me was when they did the shield thing for the first time, and she jumped up and she let loose with the 3 arrows and took the guys out. There was something about that with the music and everything else that just, oh man, it just got me.
Yeah, I definitely thought the fight choreograph for that specific area for on the beach was excellent.
Yeah, it really was.
Robin Wright was amazing too. I mean, Gal Gadot did a great job, but Robin Wright had a fantastic role, and she played it well. I love the fact that she showed her age a little bit. Like a lot of women don't do that, and she showed, look, I'm going to play an older role, so I'm going to look older, and she did, and it was great.
Agreed. So supporting cast also phenomenal. Homeboy, his name just flew out of my head.
Pine.
Yeah, Chris Pine, so good. The relationship that they built with them was really, really well done. I think go ahead.
I think they picked a perfect Steve Trevor because they tapped into something that Marvel had been owning the whole real estate on, and that was how they put comedy in there. And Chris Pine is a great actor to carry an action sequence along, but also give you that little bit of comedy that I think is needed in some of these comic movies.
Well, I think the humor was really important with this because most of the DC movies were just so heavy and so dark and brooding and all that. And I love the interactions between the two characters. And then when it came to the fish out of water kind of stuff, where Wonder Woman is, in a world where she doesn't really understand, but she'll make it work. But some of the things that the sense of wonder on her face and stuff like that, she just did a really, really good job. So that's something else I like. But the humor was really good.
Yeah, there's three things that I want to bring up. Well, one thing I didn't like, and two things I did like. The discussion on the boat about marriage.
Yeah.
When they were saying, or sleeping together and getting married and such, and she asked him, and he says, people get married and, live, stay together happily ever after. And she says, does that work? And he said, honestly, no. Most of the time it doesn't.
Right.
It felt out of time because in the 1920s, when this is supposedly happening, there was less than a 10% divorce rate.
Yeah, that actually kind of struck me too a little bit. I was thinking, of course it doesn't work now, but were they talking to us, or was that? And you're right, it was at a time for sure.
So that was that. I like the fact that they did not feel the need to have a gratuitous sex scene.
Yes, I'm so glad they didn't do that.
They built up to it, and what happened, but they didn't feel the need to show it, and I appreciated that. I don't know if that was just because it was a female director, or if it was, if a male director would have gone the same way. I tend to think that a male director would have wanted to show some of, Gal with a little less clothes on.
Yeah, I mean, and she's gorgeous, man. And I was worried about that myself. I could feel it kind of happening, leading up to it. And I'm like, are they going to do it? Are they going to have where he takes a piece of clothing off of her or something like that? And I'm just glad they just kissed and cut away. And that actually made me happy. Yep.
And then the fact that in the end, and I'm not going to give away the ending here, but in the end, when the stuff that happens, there is no miracle.
Right. No, I like that. I like that
to make it final.
Yeah. And I think that led into, why, because it's a frame. The story's a frame, obviously. It starts in the beginning. And she kind of flashes back. And, I'm glad at the end, the reason that she looks so fondly on it is because, and again, spoilers, guys, sorry, is because he sacrificed himself at the end, right? And she's looking back on that in fondness, right? And I think that makes the whole frame of the story work, I think.
Well, and the picture that she holds dear was kind of the last, wouldn't you guys kind of say the last happy moment during that time period? Because after that, everything goes to hell a little bit.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, and so I like that. There was something else Mox brought up I was going to say, but I can't remember now. Go ahead. You had one more thing?
So if it was a marriage, is that, and then the fact that the final thing was final.
Yeah,
right.
Totally. So something else I was going to say that I liked about the film. The fight scenes were really well done, as we talked about. I heard this on somewhere else, and I was curious to see what you guys think. The end fight scene, the third act fight scene, where she's fighting Ares or whatever. It's very much like some of the darker fight scenes we get in the other DC movies where there's a lot going on and there's things being thrown around. It worked for me, but I'm just, I honestly liked the in the light fight scenes much better. On the island, in the village. One of my favorite moments is where they do the shield thing again. I keep coming back to this because it's just one of those moments of teamwork and all of that stuff where she puts her little group together. But the shield moment where she pops up and then takes out that bell tower, the sniper in the bell tower. I just thought that was awesome. So what did you guys think of the little twist and the last act, I guess was what I'm saying.
For me, I thought it actually worked being a darker because you're actually talking about gods fighting gods.
Right.
So I thought that worked for me because it actually set it apart from being on the level of the other fighting scenes early on in the thing. It was actually her taking on Ares and be able to take what he's given her, and then he is kind of toe to toe. So I thought it kind of worked. It definitely set it apart from everything.
Yeah, it was definitely a tone shift, but I think it worked. I liked. I was worried that, maybe it's just my knowledge of Wonder Woman, but I was worried that the whole movie would be like, well, Ares never happens because you're insane, and that would have bummed me out. You know what I mean? I'm glad that was actually a thing. So there was one moment that I want to point out and see if your theater reacted the same way. Do you guys remember the moment where Ares is showing her the story through the lasso, and when he gets defeated, there's that moment where he's kind of like huddling in the dark and he's like half naked and like you see his face for the first time again. There was like a laugh out loud moment in my theater, and maybe it was just the people I was with in my small town maybe, but I didn't laugh, but because I'd already seen the guy's face. But did you guys find that that actor didn't match with the god element of Ares, I guess is what I'm asking?
I think it was a defeated god at that point.
Right.
Oh, yeah. I like that. That's a good way to look at it. Yeah, no, I'm with you. He definitely was. He was huddled. He was done. And now he had to figure out a way to claw his way back. I like that.
Right.
Yep.
Now, for me, I think, Mox kind of picked out some of his. And again, this would be really nitpicky stuff because overall, I thought it was an excellent movie. I definitely think it's got to be one of the top DC movies right now. The only thing I would have liked to have seen more stuff with her and her group with Chris Pine and some of those others, her kind of own little band there, a little more fighting in World War I as opposed to all the stuff on Themyscira. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of that.
Yeah, there was something about that moment, especially with the No Man's Land stuff, where she steps out, which is one of the most badass moments. And we did see in the trailer. We saw in the trailer, but the reaction of both sides when that happened, obviously the good guys are like, holy crap, she's taking all the fire. We can do this. And the other side's like, what the hell are we firing at?
I know.
It was, it's not, what is going on? We have all these machine guns. What's happening? There was something about that was, that moment, I think, is one of my favorite parts of the film, where it shows her role and what she's supposed to be. I would have liked to see one more battle, honestly.
See, I kind of compared it to the Captain America, and you see he kind of does that same thing where he goes and rescues the soldiers. So it's like the one big moment that he has. But then again, as you try and transition, you see, Captain America, Steve Rogers go around to all these factories. You don't get to see all the battles, but you get to see the effect on the enemy and stuff. Like I would have liked to seen a few more of those, kind of that she was doing this big impact on the war.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was. The gala was a little interesting too at times, but I think that was just the way the story was unfolding, where she was with the sword in her back and then the dance thing and stuff, and I think that was kind of the fish out of water kind of stuff. Like, I think Ares is this guy, so I'm going to try to kill him kind of thing. So, yeah. Anyway.
Right. And then the only other thing that I have a problem with is I was there. I was waiting. It ended. Credits. And then nothing happened.
Do you think they did that on purpose? Because I remember you telling me ahead of time, and the wife and I left because you told me there was no end credit sequence, and I was like, cool. But because you have all the Marvel movies, and that's like their thing, do you think this was DC's way of saying, of separating themselves from Marvel.
Maybe, but
have they done that in other movies though?
That's what I was gonna ask. I don't know if
Marvel's not the first one to do that though.
no, they're not, but they're the ones who do it the most often. You know what I mean? And has the other DC movies do the other DC movies have post credit sequences? I never looked into it before we recorded, but if they don't, then that's the way they do it. But if so, are they doing it on purpose? You know what I mean? That's the question.
Yeah. I would have liked to seen like something show up at her office, like a picture, like she collects that stuff, the art wise, and something to do with like, you know, Aquaman or something, the Flash or something like that. Just one little snippet that leads you towards Justice League or something like that. I think a little tease like that is a good promotion.
And actually, going back a little bit farther in the chat, Kid Lee pointed out one of the funnier moments where there's two scenes where there's some sexual innuendo going on. Where when he gets out of and this just goes back to the humor, when he gets out of the hot tub on Themyscira, and then the watch thing. I just think that's really funny. Stuff like that. Stuff like that I think is important. And then she says something like, "Are you above average? Are you average for your people?" or that kind of thing. I just love stuff like that. It just makes me laugh because they're not talking about the same thing, but they kind of are at the same time. I just dig it. So that's kind of humor I like. But
have you guys seen the Justice League trailer?
Justice League trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. Have I?
I don't know. Have you?
Yeah. No, I have. Yeah, we talked. Yeah.
Yeah, that was badass too.
Yeah.
I don't know. They still don't have me with the Flash yet.
I have some bitterness around the Flash. Don't get me started on that.
Oh, no.
Let him wrap up his TV Flash, and let him join the Justice League then. That's all I'm going to say.
I just don't get. You have an awesome Flash and a very successful TV series, and then you're gonna recast and reboot the Flash in your cinematic universe. That makes no sense.
Yep.
Sorry, the Flash is amazing. TV show is phenomenal. So I'm not changing my mind on that. There's a couple other Wonder Woman things. There's an article in here if she'll do the sequel we talked about last week. She is giving an update. I think they're still working it out. And then at the same time, she actually put out there in another interview that she'd be willing to do a Superman movie. So it'd be interesting.
By working it out, does that mean she's wanting like more money because it's so successful?
I think what happened was she signed up for a one picture deal. And with the popularity of it, obviously, she's like, well, I can hold out for a little longer kind of thing. And
they need to pay
make
her.
a couple extra dollars.
But honestly, they need to pay her. If she's going to put out something like that again and make the sequel stand up, they need to pay her. I don't have any problem with her holding out a little bit and being like, yeah, well, if I'm going to do it, it needs to be this story and this time. She already said it's going to be set in America in the next movie, so I don't know what the time frame is going to be and that kind of thing, but I think that if she's going to do it again, she needs to have a lot of say in it, and she needs to have the money that she deserves, honestly.
Yeah, and good for her for saying I'll do one, and bad on them for not locking her up for 2 or 3.
Yeah, DC would make another monumental mistake if they let her go and not have her direct.
Exactly. And then, just if you're into merch, there's a Wonder Woman limited edition Blu-ray gift set that looks so cool. Yeah, this came out a couple days ago, I think, and there's like a little statue in there, and it just looks sick. I might actually do it. I don't know what the price point is, actually. Do you guys? I don't know if they put a price in there.
Price point, yeah, no.
But I might be willing to pay, $30 or something to get a little figurine and stuff and the Blu-ray. I think it'd be sick. So we'll see if that's the price. Let's say it's $30. How about that?
I'm going to say
it's statue. Oh, it's going to be more. Like at least.
I want it to be $30. Okay.
Okay, I'm thinking that.
$30. Yeah.
It's 30.
I'll pay $39.99. DC. You're welcome.
There you go.
Wait, apparently Amazon has pre-orders up. Hold on, I'm loading it now.
Oh, really? Yeah. Tell us what's up. Am I right?
So we'll see. Maybe it's broken. Oh, I don't know. Here we go.
Tell me I'm right.
Devin in the chat room says, if they let her go, I'm telling you now, Kathy, meaning what's her name at Disney, will pick her up. That's true.
Oh, for sure. Get her to do Captain Marvel or Any of them. I'd be sick. Yeah.
Yeah, if she would direct like a male-centered
Oh,
hero
it's in the
and
article.
just blast him away.
It's the gift is slated to sell for $129.90.
Oh, damn it.
Way off.
See, sometimes I don't read through all the article because I don't want to know the price.
You just wonder, you
I-
want to keep your hopes up.
I just looked at the picture and hoped that
Just-
$39.99 would be
Say,
it.
Will, I really want this.
Yeah.
Will,
Yeah.
I really, really want this.
I deserve it. Damn it.
You deserve it.
All right, guys. Anything else on Wonder Woman? Are you? Do you want to see a sequel? What do you want to see in the sequel?
I want to see a sequel for sure. It actually has me looking forward to DC movies, and I didn't think that would happen.
Right.
And some of the downfall of Batman.
So, are you looking more forward to Justice League then?
Yes.
After seeing the
yeah.
preview, I am, and I didn't mind
Yeah.
the Flash. It probably, maybe it was like a filming conflict. Like maybe he was busy filming the TV show and he couldn't film a movie.
They just didn't want one actor be able to hold up two production crews.
I don't know, man. I'm not buying it. I love Grant Gustin, dude. He's the man.
He
So,
is pretty good.
all right. Last bit of Marvel news. Just Chris Evans has extended his Marvel Studios contract, and I think it's only for Infinity War. No,
Is that really shocking to anybody?
no, it's not. But really, what it comes down to is this is going to be. He's kind of hinting that this is going to be the end for his Captain America. I think.
I think we're going to see the end of several heroes.
No, for sure.
The ring can
Coming to play them, or they'll be
I
killing them off.
I think they're going to be killing off people. It's Thanos, man.
Yeah, I think so too.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's like early talks about it. They're talking about how many heroes are actually on set for some of these shots. It's just going to be amazing. I can't wait for that one.
Yep, exactly. All right, guys. So, anything else you want to say about anything before we get out of here? Why don't you guys go ahead and say where we can find your stuff on the interwebs before we close out?
All right. You can find me at Twitter, JT_Holonet. You can also find, twitch.tv/Carillion Run Radio and CarillionRun.com. It's where you can find the podcast.
Don't you have a streamer too?
Oh, yeah.
B_network.
I'm giving you a moment, dude. Come on.
Thanks, man. Twitch.tv/BB_network. That's my Davies stream.
Nice.
Which is a hell of fun, by the way. So stop by there, hang out,
We
drink
like
a
to have the
frosty
funds.
beverage.
Yeah, have a beverage and watch JT do some gaming.
Yep.
You can find me at Fort Worth Gym, and I am also part of Carillion Run Radio, so check us out there. I also edit and produce Passionately Casual podcast, and we have a really, really exciting show lined up for the next episode. But the one we just recorded will be out tonight sometime probably.
Yep.
Just being on an Australian time, things get all kind of mixed up, but should be out sometime tonight, and it's that's also awesome, and looking forward to that. And the 24th, Extra Life, come and hang out with us on Harbinger server, 1:00 Eastern time. Send me a message on Twitch or Twitter if you need details on that.
Nice. I can't thank you guys enough for being on the show. I didn't want to cancel this week, and I wanted to have you guys on either this week or next week. And when Will was traveling, I was like, let's just do it. And it was an awesome show. Thanks for all your insights on Wonder Woman and Star Wars and everything else. You're two of my favorite people to hang out with on the interwebs. So thank you, boys. Appreciate it.
Oh, it was
Thank
a lot
you.
of fun, man. I loved it.
All right, so thanks for tuning in to The Usual Podcast. If you have comments or questions, you can find us at theusualpodcast.com. Email us at theusualpodcast@gmail.com. And we're on Facebook, Google+, Pinterest, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. I'm at Darth Pops on Twitter. My usual co-host is at I am Will Griggs. You heard our boys JT and Mox, their Twitter handles a moment ago. We're on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and Google Play. If you see us, like us, share us, and give us some stars and stuff. If you want to support the show, we're at patreon.com/usualpodcast. Thanks to everybody who does that. If you give us $1 or $2 an episode, I do blooper reels. We do trailer time. We have a lot of little exclusives. And in fact, if you're coming to our Pucked Cantina, I'm going to be bringing gifts to everybody who is a patron and sending some gifts to people who can't make it. So definitely check that out. And audibletrial.com/usual podcast. Earlier in the show, we talked about lots of books that you can get on us, including Star Wars novels and the like. And guys, so I'll let you guys say the thing that Will always says, if you remember what that is. He usually tells people to do a thing at the end of the show. What do you think? No pressure. Have a fun.
Nobody says at the end of the show.
I'm just messing with you. I'm messing with you. He always says have a fun. So
Have a fun.
there we
Have
go.
lots of fun.
Have lots of funs, and we'll see you all next week.
Blame Will.
Blame Will indeed. Thanks, chat room. You guys are awesome. Thanks, JT Mox. I appreciate it, man. That was a fun show. I really appreciate it. All right, so how do you stop this thing?
Stop recording, you mean?
Yeah, that's it.
Tools, stop recording.
Oh, come on, dude. It can't be that easy.
Is that easy?
User in your channel stopped recording.
Just as easy was it to start the recording.
You guys in your technology.
All right, so we just hold on to our Audacity, and if
Yeah.
you have issues, you let us know, or do you want us to upload it somewhere?
Yeah, no. Hang on to everything. It should be fine. If not, I have a backup too. If I need it, I'll let you guys know. But I appreciate you guys doing that.
No problem at all.
I should stop this the live thing. Thanks everybody in the chat room. Appreciate it.
Bye, everybody.
Devin, you're awesome, dude. Thanks for sticking around. Kid Lee, thanks for hosting. Later.